They won the last 3 games of last season and tied last week against Stevens Point. So hopefully the Pioneers can history will strike twice.
Okay, and the Pioneers now, as we said, come into the game with an 0-0-1 record, that being a tie. Oshkosh coming in with a 2-0-0 record, and they had quite an interesting game last week.
Interesting is the word for it, Rod. They played up against Superior and they won 45-31. It was quite a game. They had to call the game with 1 minute and 11 seconds left because many penalties, sportsmanlike conduct, and apparently there was a 30-minute power outage as well.
All right, we'll take a look at the starting lineups tonight. Starting for the Pioneers, number 90, Mike Benoit, defensive end, 6'3", 235 out of Whitewater. Number 52 is John Rosenberger, 6'3", 232, a junior out of Clinton, Iowa. Number 69 is Kenny Nees. He'll be at nose guard, 6'1", 250, a sophomore out of Bloomington. 57 is Chris Keenis, 6'2", 230, a senior out of Green Lake. Number 24 for the Pioneers is Mark Leonard, 6'2", 210, a sophomore out of Mount Horeb. 51 is Dave Rundy, named a preseason All-American pick. Number 50 for the Pioneer. 51 is Dave Rindfleisch. 50 is Dave Rundy. Rundy out of Platteville. Now looking at the backfield and the defense, Matt Sevens is number 7. Dave Lombardo, number 19, will be playing at safety. Barry Begans will be in the defensive backfield, as will senior Nick Vieira for the University of Wisconsin-Platteville Pioneers. Go ahead, Tom.
It's the second annual Student Appreciation Night. Last year, the Pioneers fell to UW-Whitewater, so hopefully they can turn that around tonight.
The Pioneers staying toe-to-toe with Whitewater, leading, in fact, at the half, or they were trailing 21-20, I believe. And the Pioneers will receive to start out this week's game. And we don't have to worry about the sun, obviously, today, and there is no wind to speak of, so we have excellent playing conditions.
A perfect night for football. Many high school fans can realize what kind of weather it is to play at night rather than the day, and now colleges will see that tonight.
We look at the chain gang. I'm supposed to put in a good word for them. To kick off for the Titans will be John Stack.
Come on, kick team!
Back deep to receive for the Pioneers. Here's the kick. Going towards the out of bounds, almost falling with the ball is Grunke, and he's sticked at the 32-yard line, and the Pioneers will start out from there, 1st and 10.
The Titan defense is led by 2 returning all-conference performers from last year. Defensive lineman number 78, Mike House, a big fella, can rush the passer, and linebacker number 49, John Moe.
And those are the 2 players we will highlight in Oshkosh. Rowan will be at defensive tackle. Tuzik at nose guard. House, as you said, at defensive tackle on the defensive line. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Steger getting the start this week due to injuries to Fisher. And there's a quick pass up to Steger, as we say, and he's very near the 1st down. So the Pioneers come out right away throwing.
Taylor rolled left, found Steger in the gap between the linebackers and the defensive backs, and hit him for a 10-yard gain and apparent 1st down.
Campshire, Moe, Heller, and Fushin, the linebackers for Oshkosh. In the backfield defensively will be Crawford, Meyer, Loken, and Donard for the Titans. 1st down and 10, ball on the Platteville 43. Tight end is Dan Rundy, Dave's younger brother. Shumway in motion. And running right into the middle of the stack is Steger. He picks up about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Pioneers.
No butterflies yet for Steger in his first collegiate start. He did get quite a bit of playing time last week against Stevens Point, but there's always something about their first start of the career.
And you get a look at number 33 out of Darlington, Wisconsin. Now the Pioneers shuttle in their tight ends many times for their plays. 89 is Rod Johnson. 88 is Mike Wild. 2nd down and 7. Shumway in motion. Taylor under a little pressure. Long pass to Cobb. Oh, what a catch by Cobb at the 22.
Cobb just out-jumped the defender down there. It was quite a catch. Wasn't sure who would grab it. Taylor had plenty of time, though. House was coming around to get him, but offensive line is doing it so far.
Got a good look at the Student Appreciation Night crowd here. Many students coming out on Thursday night. Big play to Devin Cobb of 34 yards. And the Pioneers have it 1st and 10.
Play much like the last play last week against Stevens Point, but this time got plenty of time on the clock, Rob.
And what a wild finish that was, if you remember. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Cobb in motion. And the handoff is inside to Shumway. Shumway through a hole. He's going to score. Touchdown, Pioneers.
Dave Shumway, his 18th rushing touchdown of his career, is now tied the career mark as a Pioneer. Just ran right up the middle. Offensive line put him a big hole in there. Titan defense didn't do anything on the first drive.
Little misdirection play, and the Pioneers jump out early as they did last week, 6-0. 23 yards on the touchdown run by Dave Shumway. Kevin Konopacki on to try the extra point. Knock on wood, he made all 4 of them last week. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Pioneers lead 7-0.
Got off to a good start, just like last week. Hopefully the defense will be a little bit tougher, though Kirk Baumgartner is a darn good quarterback, so is Dennis Bogosh.
So the Pioneers, who jumped out to a 14-0 lead last week, hope that we can do the same again this week. Oh, we have a very animated player for Oshkosh. And from what I hear, one of the main reasons some stuff started last week, that being John Moe, who was an all-conference player last year, pulled an old Giants maneuver and kicked over a couple of water coolers on the sidelines.
Quite a character. Well, maybe that's what they need. They need to get the clean, dirty stuff, if you know what I mean.
It took the Pioneers just 1 minute and 34 seconds to score this week. Konopacki will kick off for the Pioneers.
Konopacki had some problems last week with the distance on his kickoffs. Hopefully with the sun and the wind, not much sun and the wind is down, maybe you can punch one down there.
Rob Nita deep to receive for Oshkosh, number 81, out of Shawano, Wisconsin. And here's the kick. And a nice high kick, but short. Taken. And up to the 30. Nice tackle. I didn't get the number, but stuck right at the 28-yard line, and that's where the Titans will start.
Pioneers just busted the wedge on that one. The Titans had it set up, but Platteville just stormed in and tackled the receiver.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Oshkosh. And I was at the game in Oshkosh last year, and the ball was in the air all afternoon. It took almost 4 hours to complete that football game. So we'll be in for a long one again today. Quick out running, stuck at the 30, a gain of 2. On the carry for Oshkosh, number 34, Mark Matzke, 6 foot out of senior out of Green Bay.
Oshkosh doesn't win many games running the ball, so they need to open up the running, and hopefully Bogosh can have some time and find his receivers.
Well, Dave Rundy, the preseason All-American linebacker from Platteville, has a streak going of 11 games in a row, or 10 games in a row of at least 10 tackles in that game. Bogosh back to pass. Got some time, hits his man. And number 81, Rob Nita, has a 1st down up across the Oshkosh 40.
Pierre had good coverage on that, but at the last minute he slipped, and plenty of time for the receiver to catch the ball over the middle for the Titans. First down of the game.
So they'll have 1st and 10, 12:38 left to go here in the 1st quarter. Very important game from Davis Stadium. Bogosh brings it up, 2 men in the backfield, 2 wideouts, and the handoff is to Matzke. He's going to be close to another 1st down, maybe about a half a yard short. On the tackle is number 32, Barry Bagans, and it will be 2nd down and 1.
Matzke had a couple of touchdowns last week in the big 48-31 game up Superior. That was helped by Bogosh's passing, of course.
Well, Oshkosh started slow last week, trailing at one point, 24-7, to a team that hadn't won since 1987 in conference play. second down and 1. Ball on the midfield stripe. Bogosh left. And hit, and Rundy makes a big play on the coverage. So they try and go to Matsky again, but Rundy knocks it away. Take a look at number 50 there for the Pioneers, and it'll be 3rd and 1.
Bogosh has a strong arm. He's not afraid to show it, as you see in the first drive here. 3rd and short. You never know what Oshkosh will do.
So it'll be 3rd down and 1 now for the Titans. And the Pioneers looking to hold here on Oshkosh first series. Backfield is Matsky, Kuyava in motion. Man, might have started early. This is going to come back. The tight end was in motion for Oshkosh, so that will bring up a 3rd down and 6 now. I believe that's how it'll go. And that was number 88, Pete Greeninger, who was in motion on the play, and that'll bring it back 5 yards, and they'll have to do it again.
Last year against the Pioneers, Bogosh had quite a day. 21 for 41 for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hopefully the Pioneers studied some game film and learned how to stop him tonight. Well, the Pioneers getting some breaks here early. And, well, right away we see the penalty bug that bit Stevens Point last week. So Oshkosh will have to do it again. Throwing down for the Titans. 1 back, 2 wideouts, and a slot man for the Titans. Bogosh being chased by Benoit. Gets it long downfield. He's got it down at about the 1-foot line. So a big play to Rob Nita. And are they going to discuss it down here? They're going to discuss it. Boy, a close play already. And they're going to allow it. Nita grabbed that one, the leading scorer for Oshkosh last year. His first game this season. He was suspended for the first game last week because of alcohol-related charges, and he's come back in a flash. So 51 yards on the pass completion as Bogosh already begins to rack up the yards. You see our score, 7-0 early in the first quarter, 11:08 to go, but the Titans knocking at the door. So it'll be 1st down and goal to go for Oshkosh. And the give is inside to Kuyava, spinning, touchdown for Oshkosh. Big Kuyava just found the smallest of gaps, just punched it right in. The Pioneers on their own goal line didn't really have a chance to stop it. Well, what could have been called a questionable call, what the Pioneers thought, as you saw Kuyava running off. And with the point here, it could be tied. John Stack, 6'2", a senior out of Oregon, Wisconsin. To try to tie this game up, and once again, a lot of points on the board. Kick, no, it's fumbled! And if the Pioneers can run it back, Lombardo fell, but there was a rule implemented last year that if the defensive team on an extra point conversion can take a turnover and go into the end zone with it, they get 2 points. The rule was designed to add a little more excitement to the extra points. Instead of the routine kick it or fumble it, defense can grab the ball and run in for some extra points. Well, a Pioneer bugaboo last year was the extra points, and let's hope that this one will come back to haunt the Titans. Extra points are never crucial until you miss them. Hopefully the Pioneers can capitalize this in the 4th quarter. You never know when an extra point will be needed. So, to kick off for Oshkosh will be number 29, Mike Fossum. Normally a wide receiver, also doing some kickoffs, a sophomore out of Luxembourg, Wisconsin. Devin Cobb, you see there, the deep man. And Cobb will take the ball at the 5. Cobb bringing it right up the middle, trying to get to the outside. Cobb's got some speed, and he's finally brought down at the 40. So Devin Cobb, 35 yards on the return, and the Pioneers start out in good field position. Can't ask for better field position. Devin Cobb, the fast little quick scat back that the Pioneers have. He's put back there for a reason, and you just saw what it was.
Devin Cobb, an excellent athlete for the Pioneers. So the Pioneers now with the ball, 1st and 10. 7-6 our score. A missed extra point by Oshkosh, the difference. Taylor. And the inside handoff to Cobb. Cobb's got her on the outside. He's to the 45, the 50, and finally out of bounds at the 40. And Devin Cobb is having a big game here.
Quite an interesting play there, Ron. Taylor handed off to Shumway. Shumway handed off to Devin Cobb, and they came on an option, actually. Taylor was the halfback back there. Cobb could have optioned it back to Taylor. Quite a play by George Chris.
And a play we saw only once last week. The Pioneers decided to go with it early today. It'll be 1st down and 10. Ball on the Oshkosh 40 now for the Pioneers. Digger inside, and he's met there by a host of Oshkosh defenders. After a gain about 2, it'll be 2nd and 8. And you look at Steger, and he's 5'10", 175, a freshman out of Darlington, pressed into action after injuries to Hughes and Fisher, who started last week.
Early injuries piling up early for the Pioneers. Hopefully by the end of the season we'll get some players back for the crucial games in November.
Now the next one is quite big. Taylor got room to roll out here. Taylor's going to try and run for the 1st down. He stopped just short, and it should be about 3rd and 1 for the Pioneers.
Taylor, the leading rusher for the Pioneers last week against Stevens Point, mostly on scrambles, just like that one.
Well, Taylor did get the 1st down on that play, so the Pioneers have a fresh set of downs with 9:50 left to go in the 1st quarter. Ball on the Oshkosh 29-yard line. And the Pioneers have had no trouble moving the football so far.
Last week, Oshkosh gave up 330 passing yards.
There's
over 503 passing yards.
Inside handoff again to Cobb. He bursts, and he's got another 1st down. And I believe we'll have offsides on Oshkosh. And the Pioneers will most certainly decline that, getting the 1st down. And nobody really moving yet. And yes, the penalty is against Oshkosh, as you saw. And it will be 1st down and 10 for the Pioneers.
Taylor again had quite a day last week. He didn't miss on more than 2 consecutive passes against the Pointers. And an offense like the wing T, you need good passing by the quarterback and excellent running by Shumway and Cobb and Steger.
Well, they run that little inside handoff 2 times on this drive. Steger and Shumway in the backfield. You'll see Cobb probably go in motion. He's number 2. And inside handoff to Shumway. Almost the same play that they scored a touchdown on from about that area of the field. He picks up about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Taylor varying his cadence, trying to get the defensive guys to bite. They bit a little bit, but got back in time before the snap.
So it'll be 2nd and 9. We'll give Shumway 1 on that play. The Pioneers starting to eat up a little clock here as we move down to the 8:40 mark. Good look inside that Pioneer huddle. Brad Taylor, number 4, the quarterback. 70 is Scott Largent. He's at right tackle for the Pioneers. Taylor's going to put it in the air. Hits it. Oh, Steger dropped the ball and could very well have scooted into the end zone, as George Christ has got to wonder why he didn't catch that one.
Steger had it right in his hand. Perfect pass by Taylor. Sun must have gotten his eyes right.
Well, it's not the sun tonight, Tom. I'll tell you that for sure, after as red as you and I got sitting out here on Saturday. So it'll be 3rd and 9 on the 18-yard line. Did you peel it all this week?
Oh, let me tell you.
3rd down and 9. 8:24 left to go here in the 1st quarter. 7-6, Pioneers leading. Taylor going to put it up again. Being chased out of the pocket. And Taylor is going to be finally sacked by Eric Fusion. 220, a sophomore out of Rubicon. And what will the Pioneers do here? They're at the 28. I assume they would go for it.
Good coverage on that play by the Titans. Offensive line just broke down finally. Can only hold them off for so long.
So the Pioneers are faced with a 4th and 19 here. Maybe a little bit out of Konopacki's range, but definitely too close to punts. Look down. Some way. And one right. Taylor rolls left. And he throws long for Ely. Touchdown Pioneers on a 4th and 19. And they get another one.
Coverage in the secondary, as good as it was the other play, just broke down. Ely got behind the last line of defense, open in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Nice pinpoint passing by Taylor on this drive.
He just about juggled it out of bounds, but there you see Shannon Ely, who held on long enough, and the Pioneers can go up by 8.
The all-important extra point by Konopacki put us up by 8.
Oh, the snap is bad. Just fall on it. And he does. And the Pioneers now lose the advantage they had in the extra point game. And George Christ is not happy with the snap.
Plenty of time left in this game. You never know when these extra points will come in handy. It's now 1-1. As you see, the Pioneers up 13-6. A touchdown by Bogosh. He's shown in the past that he can really bring him downfield in a hurry. We'll have to wait and see if the Pioneers can tough up the defense again.
Well, the Pioneers on 4th and 19 yet. I'm sure that play was planned. I think they would have planned to go into the end zone. You certainly don't want to get that close and not take a shot at it.
Clutch play by Taylor and Ely. Because if they don't do it there, Titans got a good field position.
So the Pioneers will kick off here. Deep to receive will be Rob Nita, who had the big catch on the last drive for Oshkosh. And he's going to be a lot poorer in the next few months from some of the reports I've heard.
This is the leading scorer for the Titans last year, mostly in passes from Bogosh.
So 1st down and 10. 1st and 10. The kickoff's Anita. Oh, a little past my bedtime.
I hear you.
On the return, getting around to the outside and nailed finally by number 42, Bill Spendy, out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. And instead of running forwards, Oshkosh goes backwards to their 25.
Spendy the kamikaze on that one, just gave up his body and put it into to the receiver. Nice tackle by Spendy.
And you see number 4, Lamone Robinson, out of a athletic powerhouse in East St. Louis, Illinois. And also the high school of LaFonso Ellis, who plays hoops for Notre Dame. Hand off inside, Matsky, nowhere to go. The Pioneers step him up. And it will be 2nd down and 10 now for the Titans.
Defense to stop the running, except on the one play in the earlier drive. But Bogosh, you'll never know what's going to happen with him. He can throw it 50 yards, no problem.
Tom, I'm kind of surprised they've run the football this much so far.
Trying to give the Pioneers a different look. Pioneers probably expecting the ball in the air. Hopefully they try to sneak these runs by them. So far, it hasn't worked.
2nd and 10. Bogosh. And got time. Gets his man. Tackle made by Rundy. The pass is complete to Brian Rill. 6 foot, 215, a senior. And it will now be 3rd down and 3. And Rundy already closing in on his 10 tackles, it seems.
He's all over the place.
3rd down and 3. Ball on the Oshkosh 32. And they'll run it. And hanging on for dear life for the Pioneers is number 57, Chris Keenis. And he is going to be, ooh, this is going to be close. It looks like he's a little bit short. And they're going to measure.
Kuyawa just dragged a couple defenders to get close to the 1st down, and they'll bring the sticks out to see if he did indeed get the 1st down.
This is going to be close. And we look at the chain gang tonight. And they're still waiting here. Now they'll bring him out finally. It's Robbie Jeter on the right, Sean Poole on the left of basketball fame. And they are just short, and they're going to have to kick. And some fans starting to wave on the Pioneer side.
Good turnout for Student Appreciation Night. Practically half or more than half of the stands were full. Much more than it was Saturday night against Saturday afternoon against Stevens Point. Good student turnout tonight.
And we see them. I think this is a good night because it gives some kids who've got to work on weekends, who don't have a chance to see the Pioneers, a chance to get out here on a night and watch them play.
Plus, they have a chance to win some prizes at halftime, and all college students like to win something.
As broke as all of us are. Nick Vieira deep to return for the Pioneers. And the kick is away. And he calls for the fair catch at the 30-yard line, and the Pioneers will start from there with 5:48 left to go in the first quarter.
Pioneers coming off a short week of practice, the Saturday and then the Thursday. They're not used to this, but it's the same for both teams. Plus, Oshkosh had to make the big trip down.
Yeah, I think a Thursday night game really helps the home team because you don't have that day of travel. And night games are tough enough to play. I heard Schembeckler complain about that many times.
Well, Schembeckler complains a lot about it.
Tom Steger on the run. It's up to about the 33-yard line, we'll call it, a gain of 3.
Steger has shown in his brief appearances last week and this week that he can get those tough yards as a freshman. Good future ahead of him in the next 4 years.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 now for the Pioneers. And the Pioneers have scored on their first 2 drives.
Titans gave up over 500 yards passing to the Superior quarterback, who is, name escapes me, but he is not that great, folks.
Taylor to run, and finally scoots out of bounds after getting the first down. So Brad Taylor a run of 10 yards, and the Pioneers get a new set of downs.
Taylor has shown he can run for the yards as good as he can pass them.
Well, let's take a look at the Platteville offensive line. 74 will be Chad Hempel. He'll play at left tackle. Toby Golembuski's number 61. Tim Murphy's the center. He's number 53. And Mike Pascavis, one of the senior captains, is number 65. Taylor gives off to Shumway. Shumway gets up for about 3. And we'll call it 2nd and 7.
Titans defensive coordinator Gary Simonson said the key to stopping the Pioneers is trying to contain Brad Taylor. He's shown he can throw the ball, and he's shown he can run the ball.
Boy, a lot more vocal crowd out here, too, tonight. A lot of students out here. It's good to see. So that'll be 2nd and 6. They give Shumway 4 on that play. Taylor to his left. And it looks like a holding will be called. Ely gets the ball up to about the 43 of Oshkosh. Hold on, a flag in the area of holding.
Regardless of the penalty, Taylor had quite a pass on that. Rolling left, throwing against his body, hitting Ely in the open. Nice pass.
But all for naught, as it will come back and be 2nd and 16 as the Pioneers will have the ball on their own 35-yard line. There we get a look at some of the offensive linemen, the men in the trenches for the Pioneers. And the Pioneers will be backed up here. And let's talk a little bit about something that happened on Saturday that was a surprise to some. The Whitewater Warhawks lost and picked by one publication, the College Football Digest, to be the #1 football team in NCAA Division III.
Well, Rod, they had to go on the road at lacrosse, and especially going to lacrosse, but anywhere on the road at WSUC, it's tough. They played up there Saturday night, and lacrosse just took it to them. In fact, their quarterback was knocked out in the 4th quarter, and they still beat them.
Well, lacrosse now ranked number 2 in the NAIA, so this is one heck of a conference. Second down, 16. And handoff inside, and not going for much is Shumway. Shumway picking up about 2.
Shumway, quite a runner out of Wisconsin Dells. A big junior, garnered all-conference honors last year. He should be good this year, and big, tough senior next year.
So the Pioneers have third down and 17 yards to go. Shumway 30 yards on 4 carries to start out for the Pioneers. Shumway will come out as a wideout this time. He's off to the left side. 2 men on the right, that being Ely and Cobb. Passing situation for the Pioneers. Taylor rushed out of the pocket. He's got a man open. That's Wild. Wild can't get to the first down as he's knocked down at the 45, and the Pioneers will have to punt for the first time.
Shumway went deep on that one, brought all the defensive backs back. Wild slipped underneath the coverage, and they hit him, but not enough for the first down.
You get a look at number 88, Mike Wild, 6'1", 220, a senior out of Beaver Dam. In to punt for the Pioneers will be number 92, Brad Von Barron out of Baraboo. And back deep to receive for Oshkosh will be Alan Christian, 5'9", 185, a junior out of Deerfield. Snap is good, and the kick is nice. A little low at the 20. Oh, what a hit delivered on Pascavis. He gets away. Oh, just tripped up there by Mike Wild, who just made the reception. But Mike Pascavis really got nailed for the Pioneers, and a nice return for Christian.
Wild made the last gap tackle. This got a fingertip on a shoestring, and it's just enough to trip him up.
So Oshkosh will start out at the 38.
First time the Titans have stopped them. Maybe they can offense his men over here, and maybe they can score.
17 yards on that punt return. First and 10, 2:28 left to go first quarter. A run with Kuyava, and a flag thrown in the area of holding. And it looks like Oshkosh is going to start out at first and 20.
A little off-tackle plays like that, it's very easy to get a holding.
So they're going to move them back. Kuyava's run was short, but the Pioneers will put them back. And they'll be at the 27-yard line now. And as you can see, really, only the A sections and the B sections, not really heavily populated at the game. So first and 20. Clock running with 2:15 left to go. Shotgun formation for the first time tonight. Bogosh back to pass. Under a little pressure, gets the ball off to Rill. Rill run out of bounds by Mark Lerner. And not much.
Rill, the only receiver open on that. Pioneer defense is, especially the backfield, is playing really good tonight. And if they can just leave Bogosh, eat up some clock, and have the short screen passes, they can hold on.
Second down and 18, so only 2 yards on the pickup. They'll work out of the shotgun again. Pioneers with 4 defensive backs and a 4-3 front. Bogosh looking for a double pass. It looked like kick. Get him. Oh, now he's away. Throws it way downfield and out of bounds. And the nearest person to that was Dave Lombardo of Platteville. Bogosh showing some athletic ability to get away from the rush.
Bogosh not really sure what he was trying to do that. Tried to shove it.
On the play.
Pass wasn't open. He tried to throw deep and no one was there.
And George Chris says, take him back, take him back. And
George Chris with an overall 39, 41, and 1 record as Pioneer coach in WSCC play, and only 4 and 6 against the Titans.
Offensive pass interference is the penalty, so it'll be second down and about half a mile for Oshkosh. 1:57 left.
Offensive pass interference also has a loss of down. 31 yards to go now. 32 yards to go for Oshkosh.
as they come up to the line. And the Pioneers settled on 4 defensive backs, and they'll play it safe. Kuyava gets away for a while, really met by number 32, Barry Bagans, up at the 30-yard line. Nowhere near a first down, so Oshkosh will have to kick. Smart call there.
Yes, I think on that play, Rod, they were just trying to get enough room for the punter. 4th and a mile, it's hard to get that against, even with Bogash's talent, just enough to get the punter enough room to get one off.
Brian Rill to kick for Oshkosh. And Fiera back deep to receive for the Pioneers. Here's the kick. It's a nice high kick. Fiera take it at the 25. Cuts upfield, does a little north-south running. He gets up to about the 33. And the Pioneers will have the ball. First down and 10 at the Oshkosh 32-yard line.
Last drive, Rod, the Pioneers are stopped. Hopefully they can get things turned around. Offense man on the sideline trying to figure out what the defense was doing to them. Scored the first 2 times, didn't do it last time. Maybe they can turn things around.
Well, George Christ, of course, calls the plays for the Pioneers.
Quarterback here.
Taylor hands off inside to Steger. Oh, is he met at the line of scrimmage by number 46 for Oshkosh. That's Joe Wagner out of Fenimore, so a local product, sort of.
Comes back to get a little revenge on the Pioneers. Maybe they didn't recruit him too much.
Second down and 8 now for Platteville. And we have 1:10 left to go in the first quarter. On Student Appreciation Night from Ralph E. Davis, Pioneer Stadium. Taylor, quick hitter to Cobb. Cobb turns it upfield and has got a first down to the 45.
Short little screen pass on that one. Cobb open in the flat, hit him, and he got some tough yards down the sideline. Enough for the first down. The sticks are moved. First down at the 45 of Platteville.
So Devin Cobb, 2 receptions so far for 45 yards.
Tough, elusive runner there. He also on kickoff return.
Quarterback here.
That'll be 1st and 10. Taylor, long count. And they give to Shumway. Shumway cuts it upfield for a nice gain. And he gets about 5 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Pioneers.
Shumway started in motion, stopped, and kept on going. Got the ball from Taylor and went around right end for a gain of 5. Second down and 5.
Well, we have Dave Shumway, 35 yards on 5 carries. Second down and 5, 51 seconds left to go in the first quarter before we change ends. It really shouldn't matter tonight because there is not much wind. Taylor will throw on second, flushed out of the pocket, and he's knocked down by number 92, who I do not have listed on my roster. So the Pioneers will now have 3rd and long.
Good coverage by the Titans. They had Dan Rundy as well as Shannon Ely well covered. Taylor had to eat the ball and lost about 10.
They're down in 16 now, the 2nd sack of the night for the Titans.
Let's get the ball now.
The Pioneers have 3rd and long this time. Will they pass it? We're down under 10. And they get the play off. Shumway inside handoff. Shumway bowls forward to about the 43. And that will be the end of the first quarter of play as the Pioneers lead 13-6. The Pioneers jumped out in front. First, Dave Shumway scoring for 23 yards on a touchdown run. Key play was a 33-yard pass to Devin Cobb. Oshkosh came right back. Bogosh, a big 51-yard pass to set up a 4-yard touchdown run. Extra point was missed, a fumbled snap. The Pioneers came back then, to take a 13-7 lead. On 4th and 19, Brad Taylor hit Shannon Ely on a 27-yard touchdown pass. The snap was fumbled, and that's why we stand at 13-6.
Tonight's game a lot like last Saturday's game. Pioneers get off to an early lead. Oshkosh coming back, and at the end of the quarter, Pioneers are up by 7.
So the Pioneers will punt. Christian back deep to receiver, and Barrett fumbles the punt. It is partially tipped. And it's finally down at the 42, and the Pioneers having some problems with snaps tonight.
On both extra point attempts, even the one the Pioneers made, snap was low. On both of the punts, the snap was also low. George Chris will have a little talk with this center, I believe.
So the Pioneers give Oshkosh the ball on the 42-yard line of the Titans. First down and 10, 14:51 left to go, first half. You get a good look at Dennis Bogosh, a sophomore out of Pulaski. Back to throw, gets it away, and caught and dropped by number 89, Larry Proctor, 6'4", junior out of Chicago, Illinois.
Bogosh just lined up, reared back, and fired that one. It was just too tough for him to grab. What an arm for Bogosh.
And a little bit of trivia here. I'm sure you know this, but do our fans know who was the last player to play in the NFL who went to high school in the state of Wisconsin?
John Arfordall, right?
I'm talking quarterback.
Dave Craig out of Milton College, which now defunct. He went to Schofield, D.C. Everest High School.
Very good, Tom. Throw it to Rill. Rill turns upfield and goes out of bounds at the 30.
Great pass by Bogosh. Again, nothing more can be said. He just got back there, fired the ball to the open receiver, and the receiver made his own yards.
So it'll be first and 10. Oshkosh moving the football.
Students starting to get behind the defense, chanting defense, defense. Hopefully the Pioneers can toughen up. Still out of field goal range.
Well, if you win a game like this tonight, the students remember that, and hopefully we'll be out in full force because the next game, of course, is the homecoming game on October 14th against the Cross. There's a handoff to Piava, gets around the corner. He stopped short of the first down, but in fact, he may have the first down.
Big low, went around right end and hit a couple guys, got an extra yard or two, makes it second down about a yard.
Oh, they'll call it 2, gain of 8 on the play for Oshkosh. 13-6, Pioneers. Student Appreciation Night at Ralph E. Davis Pioneer Stadium. Second and 2. Ball knocked down, and I believe Oshkosh might get it back. Oh, the Pioneers have the football!
Bogosh's pitch mixed up in communications. Halfback went in, Bogosh threw it to nobody, and the Pioneers jumped on the ball.
Rausenberger on the recovery, and just a blown pitch there for Oshkosh, and the Pioneers get the first turnover of the game.
In close games, turnovers will tell the story, and so far, first turnover goes to the Titans. See what the Pioneers can do, see if they can capitalize.
Well, that turnover occurs with 14:22 left in the first half. First down and 10, ball in the Pioneers' zone, 31. And hand off to Cobb. Turning upfield, nice run for Devin Cobb. And he gets to about the 45.
Good running by Cobb. He just moved his hips a little bit, just like Crazy Legs Hirsch, and just avoided a couple players.
Devin Cobb, big night so far.
Plenty of running room. The offensive line just conceal the line of scrimmage, and plenty of room for Devin.
Devin Cobb with 43 yards on just 3 carries so far tonight. So the junior out of Bellwood, Illinois, having a good game. Inside handoff to Shumway. Shumway, he pitches out to Taylor. Taylor gets around the corner and gets the first down.
Same play as last time. They had top Taylor. They could have pitched it to Taylor, but on the other play, Cobb had plenty of room. This time they got Shumway boxed up, pitched it to Taylor, and they got enough for the first down, I believe.
And we'll call it 11 yards and another first down for Platteville.
Interesting play call by George Chris.
That looks like something you used to run when you played touch football in the backyard with your buddies.
Go down the Chevy, turn left, and
So it'll be first and 10, Platteville. Ball on the Oshkosh 44. Pioneers will throw this time. And Taylor, he got away. There's no in the grasp in college. Taylor, oh, now he's down, finally. But Brad Taylor has some incredible athletic ability. Now you hear some of the fans screaming behind us for the in the grasp, as you hear right now. But there is no in the grasp in college football. That is just in the pros.
head referee
and the ref,
coming
oh,
over.
they're going at it down there.
The referee is not taking any draw from either sideline. He must have heard about the game last week in Superior and trying to control it before anything gets underway. Second and a long, long way for the Pioneers.
Well, second and 25 to be exact. Clock running with 13:37 left to go. And that is the third sack of the game now. In for the Pioneers is number 40, Todd Peters, at running back. Back to pass. Taylor hits Peters. And that immediately right at the line of scrimmage by number 50, Chris Campshire, 6'1", a sophomore out of Green Bay.
Peters was out by himself, no blockers, and he could not avoid the oncoming rusher. Still third and a long way.
Third and 25 now. And George Chris looking on.
Chris has got to be happy with the play so far. They're up by 7 points.
Well, the Pioneers just got the ball, and the turnover had that wild and wacky play. It reminded me a little of the fumble they had at about the 16 where it bounced up. You see our score. Taylor going to pass. And he hits Shumway. Shumway turns upfield. Shumway trying to get away. He may have the first down.
Pioneer and a Titan got tasseled there. One of the Titans lost his helmet, in fact. It's a tough game out there.
Well, it'll be 10 yards short. And as usually, the intelligent fans sitting around me, we have. So it'll be 4th down and 10. And Von Baron to punt. Trying to get that ball inside the 20. Fair catch called for. And it'll go into the end zone. And it'll be 1st down and 20.
For a while there, the receiver didn't know where he was, but then he bounced into the end zone for the touchback. Titans will start at 1st and 10 at their own 20.
11:54 left to go. (13-6) our score as we take a look at Jeff Mole laying down on the sidelines. Good shot by our crew. And stuck there at the line, number 69, Kenny Nees on the play. And the running game just hasn't been there for Oshkosh tonight.
Actually tried to stick it up the middle. No blocking on the play. They just stuck him, that's all.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 on the 21 now for the Titans. .25 left to go in the first half. One back left now. Oh gosh, back to throw. And he's going to try and get away and just throws it away as Keenest buries him inside the 10. And it'll be 3rd down and 9 now.
Blocking starting to break down. Bogosh didn't have any time on that, and he hit him just as he was trying to get rid of the pass, and it fell incomplete.
So after the incompletion, 11:14 left to go, and a big play here for the Pioneer defense because they have Oshkosh deep in their own territory.
And cause a turnover here if the Pioneers could get in the end zone very easily.
little delay in play here. And maybe we can get a word in as why we have this delay in play.
Starting to cool off here in Platteville. Wisconsin's get a little nippy, and no heat problems today.
Well, this is supposed to be our last day of nice weather for a while. Of course, that happens when I have Cubs tickets this weekend. And both coaches being talked to. Okay, and I believe, as one fan has informed me, that the headsets have gone out on one side or the other. The rule is that neither team can use their spotters up in the press box then. Oh gosh, back to pass. Looking upfield, got his man. Incomplete at the 35 to Pete Greener, and Oshkosh will have to punt.
Provenzano on the coverage there. He slipped. The pass was just a little bit short. It fell incomplete. Pioneer defense toughened up. They caused a punt here and hopefully get good field position and run it in for the score.
Oh gosh, only 1 for 4 this quarter passing. So the Pioneers doing their job. Here's the kick. One liner to Fiera. He'll take it at the 43. Cuts upfield and caught by the shirt tails finally down to the 48. And the Pioneers will start inside Oshkosh territory.
Fiera, a tough runner on every punt. He's running right up the middle, dragged a couple guys for a couple yards, and starting at Oshkosh's side of the field, 1st and 10.
So we had 19 points in the first quarter, nothing as of yet in the second quarter. The Pioneers looking to go up by a couple of scores. And he missed extra points, staring kind of the Pioneers in the face right now. Taylor will throw. He shovel passes to Cobb. Cobb, nice run for Cobb. He got up to the 46, what could have easily been a loss of about 2.
Pioneers pulling on all the stops on the plays, trying to confuse the Titan defense, but they did not fight on that play.
Well, you think, and the Pioneers were picked as one of the contenders for the conference this year, and this is a must game. No more ties, no more losses. You've got to start winning football games.
Can't go too far with one loss at home. You got some tough games on the road. You got Whitewater and the Clare back-to-back in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, and it's second down. Taylor looking long. He's got his man, Rod Jensen, down to the 24.
Taylor, just like Bogosh, stepped back in the pocket and fired the ball perfect right to him. And 1st down and 10 inside the 25.
23 yards on the completion for the Pioneers. That brings it down to the 23, so the Pioneers cut the field in half. 10-10 left to go. Clock starts in the first half. So the Pioneers distributing the ball well to all receivers, backs and wideouts.
They're also balancing the passing and the rushing attacks.
Now they'll run this time. Shumway cuts upfield, and he has a nice game.
Shumway, a tough runner, right up the middle, drag a couple defenders again. He's got almost to the 1st down, and they will just short of the 1st down, second about 2.
So Shumway, and he's getting some good use today. He has 6 carries, 43 yards unofficially. So it'll be 2nd and 2 for the Pioneers. .47 left to go. Taylor bringing the troops up. Ely on the wide out to the right. Taylor pitches out to Shumway on the option. Shumway to the 15. Gets inside to about the 10. And it'll be 1st down, Platteville.
Shumway just couldn't quite get around the end to get in the end zone. He fell about 10 yards short of the end zone, and 1st and goal to go.
So the Pioneers now, boy, the clock stopped for having a long game. But a nice night at least out at Ralph E. Davis Pioneer Stadium.
Beautiful
Pioneer.
night for football, Rod. What else would you be doing tonight anyway?
We'll leave that subject alone as it'll be first down and 10. I believe the Pioneers can get a first down right before the goal line. Taylor, Steger, Cobb, Shumway are the backs. And the inside handoff to Shumway. Hempel kind of pushes him along inside.
Making good use of the double handoff to Shumway or to Cobb and then to Shumway, about 5 yards on that play.
Well, we'll give him 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8. Clock running here.
George Chris was some imaginative play calling, much different than last week.
And mixing, I think the play's a lot better
Beautiful
this
play
week.
calling.
The second half last week, they really didn't throw on first down until the second half.
Pioneers marching down the field in each of the drives.
2nd down. Taylor's going to throw. And touchdown Steger for the Pioneers. And they now lead 19-6.
Steger's first collision touchdown. Taylor rolled out, found him in the open. He dove in for the end zone for the touchdown. Pioneers up.
Fans like it, as does the Pioneer bench. And I believe they're going to go for 2. This is a big conversion right now, Tom, because you can go up by 15 and you make Oshkosh hit a 2-pointer then.
Make up for the extra point they missed earlier. Hopefully they can find the end zone on this one.
So, 19-6, touchdown comes with 8:49 left. 3 men wide. Shumway, Cobb, and Rod Johnson. Man gets through. The pass, 2-point conversion is good. Johnson caught it right on the sideline, and the Pioneers lead 21-6.
Taylor just barely got that one off before he was hit by number 97, Daryl Johnson. And there's 2 receivers in the corner end zone. Shumway and another one. They grab it for a 2-point, puts them up by 15.
So the Pioneers, a good first half here with 21 points.
Still plenty of time for Bogosh, though.
So 8:49 left to go in the first half. .849 left to go here in the first half.
Konopacki still has not gotten distance on his kickoff. He seems to be popping them up, and hopefully he can knock one down.
He might do it. Can't get away with all that. They're just up to the 25-yard line. Okay, we're sorry we had technical difficulties. We missed the kickoff. And to recap what happened, Konopacki knocked the ball down to about the 5, and the ball was run out by Lamont Robinson out to the 25 after a long run. And in a conference of great quarterbacks, who would think Brad Taylor would be standing out? He's 9-10 for 142 yards so far.
3 quarterbacks in the conference rated in the top 10 in the nation in total offense. But Taylor is showing that he's just as good.
Ball run out to about the 30 for Oshkosh. But 2 TDs also for Taylor. He did Player of the Week last week. What could be in store if he has a big second half like this for next week?
Every little bit from Taylor helps. You got the backs and Shumway and Cobb, and a tough defense apparently tonight. Any other thing from Taylor is good news.
So Oshkosh hasn't distributed it. They've only had 2 backs run and 2 receivers have caught passes. Bogosh back to pass. Being chased out of there. Hits his man. And it's out of bounds. So Rill couldn't contain it in bounds. And it will be 3rd and 6.
Bogosh and Rill just ended up out of bounds, not having enough field on that side. Rolled a little bit too far.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6. And Oshkosh really, I would think, in a must situation here, even though you don't have Bogosh, you don't want to fall behind 3 scores.
Pioneers can stop them here and have enough time for some more points. You all can use more points against the quarterback the caliber of Bogosh.
And well, that headset problem came back to haunt us as we take time out. The Pioneers call it. We were knocked off a little bit as they fix the headsets. But let's talk about upcoming games this weekend. You've got Falls traveling to Eau Claire. Falls won the first week. Eau Claire yet to play yet. Both teams pretty decent. Then you look at another game. You see La Crosse and Superior. La Crosse coming off a huge win over Whitewater. And they'll take on Superior, who really gave Oshkosh a run for their money.
They might be good this year for the first time in many years. They play La Crosse, and you go up to the frozen tundra of Superior. Anything can happen, Ron.
And the last game involving two conference teams, Stout at Whitewater. Whitewater says that Travis Talton, their star running back, could be questionable for Saturday's game. And Stout has a great quarterback, as we saw last year.
Stout's quarterback, Tim Peterson, ranked number 7 in the NAIA in total offense and 10th in individual passing. He's something to look at.
Take a look at the Oshkosh coaches. And it'll be 3rd down and 6. Oshkosh will go out of the shotgun formation. Pioneers going here with 5 defensive backs. And still a little stoppage here. But you look at Whitewater, a must game for them now because of their loss last week.
Win to lose 2 games in the conference, it really puts a damper on your title hopes.
Oh gosh, back to pass. Throwing complete. Dunita. Finally bring down by Bagans and 7. Big first down, Oshkosh.
Bogosh just thread the needle to Netta in the gap, and he ran for 10 extra yards for the first down.
25 yards on the completion. Oshkosh will have the ball 1st and 10 in Pioneer territory at the 46-yard line. .36 left to go here in the first half now. And they'll run it again. Damatsky, and he gets up across the 40. And the Pioneer defense needs to dig in to make that last score as big as it was.
Still plenty of time for Bogosh to put one in, and the Pioneers can't give up. They have to give up as few points as possible to Bogosh because he can strike at any time.
All right, as we approach the 7-minute mark, as we saw last week, 28 points can be scored in a matter of, what, about 2-3 minutes?
Never a dull moment in Pioneer football.
Oh, no, there isn't. Oh, gosh, back to pass. Hits Nita again, and he's down to the 25, a gain of about 21. And Oshkosh is moving the football.
Nita, his favorite target last year as a leading scorer, and this year this is his first game. He's doing all right. Hasn't missed a beat.
So the Pioneers need to dig in here. And last week in the second half, many turnovers they got. They dodged a lot of bullets to maintain that tie. When you talk to players and coaches, they think of that game as a loss, mainly because it was at home.
Gotta win everything you can, especially the games at home, so it's tough to win on the road here in the State University Conference.
Gets away, finally dragged down by Rindfleisch. And another good gain on 1st down for Oshkosh. And when you're in 2nd and short, the passing game seems to come a lot easier.
It's a lot easier to get 1st downs on 2nd and short, right? Especially with Bogosh back there. He just steps back and fires and hits his receivers.
So it'll be 2nd and 3. They're on the 14 of Platteville. 5:53 left to go now. And he's just 2nd and 3. 2 backs. A pass. Oh gosh, had some room to run. He hit Brill. Knocked down by Bagans and Rindfleisch. But it'll be 1st and goal at about the 3-yard line for Oshkosh.
Nice little touch pass by Bogosh there before he just fired. This one, a nice little dink over the middle. 1st and goal to go with the 3.
So the Pioneers' 21-6 lead in jeopardy now. As they're knocking right at the door. And I think I'd fake into the middle and throw outside on this play because the Pioneers should be looking run. Well, they will run. And he didn't get in. And I believe that was Uyava on the carry.
Toughest yards in the whole football field. Those right now next to the goal line. because everybody's impact. It's hard to get an open pass play.
George Christ wondering how to stop this Titan attack now. It'll be 2nd and 2. I still like the play of faking into the middle and throwing outside here. Let's hope the Pioneers can hold in, and he got in. They had him stuffed initially. A touchdown for Cuyava, and the score is now 21-12. And they are going to try for the kick for extra point.
Second effort by Cuyava pushed it in. He was stopped initially, but his second effort pushed him in for the touchdown. 21-12.
What would you think about a fake right now, Tom?
Too early in the game, I think, Rod. And I am right.
Kick is up. Kick is good. So they cut it to 8 now. And they're going to believe that a lot more points are going to be scored in this game.
21 points will not win this football game, Ron. Got a whole half ahead of you.
And still 4:54 left to go in this half. So that touchdown capped finally on a 2-yard run by number 31 for Oshkosh, Chris Cuyava. 7 carries, 35 yards for number 34, Mark Matsky. Just a reminder, the next home game at Ralph E. Davis Pioneer Stadium is the homecoming game against the La Crosse Eagles. The next game, please try and make the trip over there, is to Whitewater Saturday at 1:30. Should be a dandy.
We'll see how good the Pioneer team is after they come back on the road from 2 straight road games.
Cobb on the return, cuts upfield. Cobb, another nice run. He's all the way up to the 45, and Devin Cobb is doing it all tonight.
Wayne Page returning flag all the way up to the 45. Perfect. Enough time, 4:46 to go in the first half. Enough time for the Pioneers to go downfield and put some more points on the board. Because the way Bogash is passing, there's never enough points against them.
32 yards on the return for Devin Cobb. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. 2 men in the backfield. And off is to Todd Peters. Good yardage for Peters. He might go. He cuts it inside. He's down to the 22-yard line. 1st down and 10 Pioneers.
Beautiful blocking out there by a particularly 65 Mike Patscavas. This led the way for Peters, and he is down.
Oh, and the Pioneers can ill afford another injury at running back. And Peters.
Peters is at the fullback position, especially thin. They've lost 2 already. They're down to the freshman Steger. Peters in for this play, and he is down.
Well, there's a flag on the play, and it's all coming back. And holding. And it will be 1st down. And about 17 to go for the Pioneers. They're back to their own 38-yard line. And Peters gets off under his own power, which is good to see.
Looks like he'll be back in the game whenever they need him. 2nd string fullback.
It'll be 1st and 17 for Platteville. Boy, big penalty there.
Took away a long run by Peters. They had it 1st down at about the 25. Bring it back all the way inside their own 40. That's not just a 7-yard penalty. It's a big penalty.
Big penalty, as you said. They were knocking right at the door already. And Taylor will throw on 1st down. Cobb catches and falls at about the 43. And they're about 2 yards behind the original line of scrimmage, which will make it 2nd and 12.
Taylor rolled left, threw with his right arm because he's right-handed. It threw it a little bit behind Devin Cobb. He had to jump back and fall down and make the grab.
Brad Taylor is one of the purest athletes on this Pioneer football team.
Much improved over last season. Bulked up quite a bit in the shoulders and the arms. Good quarterback, and he's shown that the first 2 games. You couldn't ask for anything more from Taylor.
Well, in this offense, you don't really want a player like a Bogash. You want someone who's a good all-around athlete. Taylor to the 40, and that'll be a first down.
Taylor just reared back and found Ely in the seam. They got the first down. They're inside Titan territory. With less than 3.5 minutes to go in the first half, plenty of time for the Pioneers to knock it in.
It'll be nice to see the Pioneers go in the end zone as time expires here in the first half, and not give Oshkosh another chance to march down the field. So it'll be 1st and 10.
Get the ball, let's go! Step up!
A lot of movement. The Pioneers, this will be called back for motion. Pioneers would have had the first down, but this is all coming back. Illegal motion on the Pioneers. That'll make it 1st and 15. 2 straight penalties on first down.
Penalties starting to mount against the Pioneers. They stayed virtually penalty-free last week, but this week the penalty bug is starting to hit.
So the Pioneers have really cost themselves here. It'll be 1st and 15 now.
Oshkosh should be no stranger to the penalties. In their game last week against Superior, there were 22 calls, so they recognize that yellow flag.
And they recognize a lot of yardage, over 1,000 total yards, putting both teams together in their game last week. Good start on the road. Taylor to run with it. And he gets upfield. Taylor's still going. And I believe he got it. And it is a first down. So a 16, we'll give him 15 on the play for Brad Taylor. And it'll be 1st down and 10 Pioneers. No flags on the play.
Taylor, much like the Packers, Don Mikowski, he can drop back, no one's open, take the ball under his arm and run it. And this time he got a first down inside the 40-yard line of the Titans.
So the Pioneers, the ball just inside the Oshkosh 30-yard line, driving 1st and 10 with 2:45 left to go before halftime. They'll run it this time with Shumway. Shumway stopped short of the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd and about 10.5.
Shumway tried to run short side of the field. There were too many defenders to the number of Pioneer blockers and just ran out of room. Loss of about a yard on the play, puts up a 2nd and 11.
2:20, clock running, Pioneers. Brad Taylor really having another big game today as we see him come up to the line of scrimmage. Brad Taylor unofficially 12 of 13, 162 and 2 touchdowns. He's going to put it up again, and he throws it short of Shumway to avoid the on-rushing Lonnie Heller of Oshkosh, and the Pioneers have a big 3rd and 10 now.
Had to get it underway before they lost a lot of yards in that. Threw it incomplete. Puts up a short third and long run instead of a long 3rd and long. Easier to get a first down, if you know what I mean.
Yes, we look at the Chief, Tim DeCora working the chain gang tonight. And these guys are some athletes too on the football field, and we saw them throwing the ball around. 10. Nice pass over the middle, and the Pioneers will be short of the first down. I think you got to go for it here.
Not much time left, less than 2 minutes and counting to go. If you don't make it, it doesn't leave Blowhouse much time, but then again, he doesn't need much time.
Well, let's do some math here. Field goal puts you up by 11, but I think you've got to go for it.
You got a full half to play around. A field goal at this time doesn't make much sense, and the Pioneers will go for it.
4th down and 1, clock running, minute and a half. 2 men in the backfield. Now Shumway in motion. The Pioneers will probably throw. 3 men right. Taylor back to throw. He's got a little time. Shumway caught it. Shumway touchdown Pioneers.
Shumway reached up with one hand, tipped it, grabbed it, and outran a couple of Titan defenders into the end zone and puts the score 27-14, up by 2 big scores now. Field goal cannot do it.
2 touchdowns on 4th down for the Pioneers in this game. And I didn't think he was going to catch it, let alone get across the goal line.
Continuing clutch plays for the Pioneers. Counterpacking now going to try the ever-important extra point to put them up by more than 2 touchdowns.
Now we have Dave Shumway unofficially for 3 touchdowns in this game. And the kick by Counterpacking is good. And the Pioneers go back up by 15, 28-13. Unreal.
I can't believe it. Taylor is absolutely amazing tonight. He won for first downs, passes for touchdowns, but on the other hand, there's still plenty of time for Bogosh, a minute 15 seconds. But he can strike from anywhere on the field.
We have Brad Taylor. As you look at the happy score on the scoreboard, the 1:15 left. Brad Taylor, 14 of 16, 198 yards and 3 touchdown passes. 2 of those on 4th down. And he was player of the week last week, and he's having a better week now.
We're only halfway done, Ryan. There's one more half to play.
So Brad Taylor in this Pioneer offense, moving the football. And you look at Kevin Konopacki.
What's the onside?
Kicker.
What's the onside?
And deep to receive will be Rob Nita. And the kick. Low liner. Boy, he might have let that one go. Better off. Robinson trying to get away and still going. Got the legs moving and drives out to the 36. Nice run by Ramon Robinson, and Oshkosh will start there with 1:08 left to go in the half.
1:08 to go. We just said, Rod, they're at their own 35. Plenty of time and not much room for Bogosh. With his arm, they can get back from anywhere on the field.
First down and 10 for Oshkosh. And you take a look at number 61, Brian Weber. Freshman for the Titans. And he has to call timeout, and that's not the place to burn one when you just come out of the huddle.
Clock is stopped already. You don't need to use the timeout to stop the clock. Apparently they had the wrong personnel in for the Titans, and both teams will huddle up.
So as we look towards our halftime ceremonies, once again, we will be here again October 14th, the lacrosse game, and that is the homecoming game. We'll also have the parade that morning. It seems unreal to be saying we're talking about homecoming already, but as you said, Tom, the Pioneers with 2 tough road games coming up.
And when they come back, lacrosse has shown they can beat some teams to beat Whitewater. Lacrosse will be tough, so the Pioneers need the fans' support that day.
Well, you think if you win tonight and you come, you really need to win both games on that road trip. It really looks that way, or at least only lose one. But I'm sure we can do both. Oh gosh, back to pass. Looking downfield, overthrows his man, and Lombardo nailed Rill to make sure, and Rill is down. But he gets back up, thankfully, and goes back into the huddle.
Bogosh pass, I believe, was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but Dave Lombardo just stuck Rill, and there's no chance for him to hold on. What a stick.
Dave Lombardo, a senior out of Madison, Wisconsin. And a 3-year starter now for the Pioneers in that defensive backfield. Pioneers load up that defensive backfield. They've got 7 defensive backs, 3 D linemen, and Dave Rundy is the lone linebacker. It'll be 2nd down and 10 now for Oshkosh. And a quick throw. And out of bounds at the 47-yard line goes Pete Greeninger. Greeninger, a senior out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Matt Sevens tried to stop him, but he slipped, and he almost kept him in bounds, but he got by Sevens and out of bounds to stop the clock with less than a minute to go.
56 seconds to be exact. Still plenty of time. Oshkosh has 2 timeouts, as do the Pioneers.
Defense could use a turnover right here. Enough time for the Pioneers to turn around and score.
Gosh, roll left. Heavy rush, gets it away and incomplete. And a flag on the play. And are we going to have holding? I would just as soon push him back if it is holding. Clipping is the call.
Big 15-yard penalty in this crucial time with only 51 seconds left. A lot of yardage and not much time. It'll push him back to almost the 30-yard line.
Unofficially for Bogosh, we have him for 13 of 18 for 95 yards. And with the 2 timeouts left, if you would have an incomplete pass on a 3rd down then, still have possibly just a little time to go after maybe a blocked punt or something like that, because they're now at their own 37-yard line, excuse me.
Perhaps we can see how good Kevin Konopacki's leg is tonight.
There's an excellent chance of that if we can hold.
No field goal attempts in the first week. This would probably be his first chance. That's still a long way away.
Oh gosh. Overthrows. Barely. 7's on the coverage, and the clock stops with 46 seconds now. And it'll be 2nd and 24.
Well, gosh, starting to throw a little bit high on these passes. Don't know what the problem is. He has plenty of time. I guess the defenders are just there.
Taylor out-passing one of the better quarterbacks in the WSCC again.
I guess now you can call Taylor one of the better quarterbacks in WSCC.
I definitely think so after winning Player of the Week. It'll be 2nd down and 24, 46 seconds left. Pioneers with 2 timeouts, as do the Titans. Oh gosh, looking over the middle, got Rill. Rill runs backwards, Lombardo keeps him in bounds. And he's up to about the 47-yard line of Oshkosh. And I would use a timeout here unless they're just going to run out the clock. Pioneers might be wise to call time.
George Chris sees no possibilities there.
Back to pass. Over the middle of Rill again. He hauls it in, and he pitches. And on the side, we have a flag on the play. And that could be a forward lateral clipping. It's definitely on Oshkosh, as John Rosenberger is telling us.
The Pioneer sideline likes this call.
Clipping is the call against Oshkosh. And with 13 seconds left, probably, well, now the question is, did he get the first down or not? And the Pioneers bring in, and we look at the crowd silent right now as we have a short break as the officials mark off the penalty. But Rill didn't go forward. He started to go around. He does something that Jeff Query likes to do for the Packers.
Walter Stanley before him. Rill tried to get out of bounds. He gave up the yardage, but he didn't make it out of bounds, and he did lose the yardage. Maybe he has a future with the Packers.
Oh, definitely. 13 seconds left. It will be 3rd down. And with the ball on their own 48, I'm sure we'll see something mighty long here. The Pioneers have already lined up 3 men back at the 25. Back to pass is Bogosh. Gets it away and incomplete. And now Oshkosh will have to punt. And I think the Pioneers would do themselves well with a nice little block kick here.
Bogosh might try a little Hail Mary action this one. You know, not much time left. Throw it up for grabs down the end zone. But I guess not.
Well, they're going to bring the punting team. I agree with you, Tom. I would try and throw for the end zone just once.
The worst you can do is have an interception, and they're not going to run it all the way back.
Yeah, that's... Unless you remember a game that was played here 2 years ago on homecoming, when right at the end of the half, and Todd Scholzel intercepted 2 passes and ran them back. And the punt is away. The clock is going to tick down. And that will be the end of a very good first half for the Platteville Pioneers. So instead of going for it, they punt it for some reason. And we have a flag. Let's see what this is all about.
Looks like they're going to call the teams back to the sidelines. It appears to be against the Titans, I believe.
And will the Pioneers make them pick again? I would go after the block and just go for it here.
Well, the way the refs are talking to the Titan captain, it might be against Platteville, and they could move it and then try a Hail Mary.
And then try it, and they might get second life after a very questionable decision, because Coach Ron Cardo for Oshkosh is in there, and that is going to be the end of the first half, so a little delay before that. But we finally finish it up, and the Pioneers look very good, especially Brad Taylor, 14 of 16, 3 touchdown passes, 198 yards, a great first half, and the Pioneers look very sharp this week.
3 straight halves of pretty good football by the Pioneers. Defense is finally turning around and stopping them. Great play by Taylor, as you said. Shumway's doing the job again. Devin Cobb with his returns on the kickoffs and the runs and the receiving. What more can you ask for the Pioneers?
Well, the Pioneers have done a pretty decent job with Bogosh. They haven't let him got just the 1 long pass for 51 yards. That set up a touchdown. We'll quickly run through the summary. The Pioneers scored first, took a 7-0 lead. Oshkosh came back, and that was the drive when Bogosh had the 51-yard pass. They ran it in from 4. The extra point was missed. The Pioneers came right back and scored. Then they blew the snap. They led 13-6, and then the Pioneers came back. Had another touchdown for 2 points. Score was 21-6. Oshkosh came back. That's the kind of season this has been for the Pioneers. 21-13 after that, and then the Pioneers score. The final tally of the half on another 4th down catch. Dave Shumway one-handed the ball, finally grabbed it in, went in from about 18 yards out, and that's where we stand, 28-3 Platteville.
If it's the first half is any indication, folks, stick around. Second half could be just as exciting as last week.
And if you remember last week, the Pioneers had 28 points in 14 minutes. Once again, our score at the half. The Pioneers lead it 28-13. We'll be back with the second half after this. Half about ready to get underway here, and the first half was definitely a good one for the Pioneers. Hello, I'm Rod Strutz. Along with me tonight is Tom Demeen, and the Pioneers a very good first half as we take a look at some of the first half.
Yes, the Pioneers at 28-13. Well, first down dominated by Platteville, 14-5. Rushing yards, Platteville 112 to only 60 for Oshkosh. Passing yards pretty much the same. And total offense, Platteville leads 303 to 253. So Platteville's pretty much dominated every category, right?
Well, last week in the Titans game, over 1,000 yards of total offense was put up. And this week at the half, we have 556 yards. So we look to be on that pace again to break 1,000 yards. That's incredible when you think about that.
With the passes in this conference, they just throw yards. There's no problem. Every quarterback is a good, solid Division III quarterback.
Konopacki to kick off. It's a short one. And taken by an up man at the 25. And, boy, a nice run up to about the 39-yard line. That's where Oshkosh will start the second half.
Pioneers pretty much held in the first half. Hopefully they can keep that going. Coach Chris and the defensive coaches talked with them during halftime. They can stop them and hopefully run off the clock on Bogosh.
Well, Bogosh in the first half was 11 of 19 passing for 193 yards. Here's the handoff. Oh, number 69 for the Pioneers, Kenny Nees, in there in a hurry to stop that running play. Oshkosh had but 60 yards on 15 carries in the first half.
Good sight for the Pioneers. First play, everybody's charged up and they stopped them. Hopefully they can keep this going.
Okay, in the second half we have something special. Hopefully we'll have Wisconsin Badger linebacker Dan Kissling down here, and we'll talk with him a little bit about the Badgers. Bogosh will go back to pass, second and about 11. Got some time, throws over the middle. Sevens with the interception. Sevens at the 50, the 45, the 40, and the Pioneers get their second turnover of the game.
Big play by the Pioneers. First play that stopped them on the loss of a yard. Second play, turnover. Bogosh, it was triple covered. I don't know why he threw it. Sevens intercepts it, runs it deep into Titan territory at the 40. First down and 10.
Sevens ran one back for a touchdown last year against Superior, and the Pioneers now a chance to add to that 15-point advantage.
Very crucial to get him right off the bat, put Oshkosh down a little more.
Taylor brings them up, first down and 10. Ball in the Oshkosh. 39, Shumway up the middle. Oh, he runs over a man and gets to about the 30. And Dave Shumway showing his John Riggins-like ability.
Third time the Pioneers have run that play. George Chris going to the well. It's worked every time so far, the double handoff.
Shumway in the first half ran it 10 times for 54 yards, so that gives him 63 yards on the night now. So Shumway starting to rack up some offense.
Quite a horse for the Pioneer offense.
Cobb was the big receiver in the first half. He had 4 catches, 48 yards. Second down and 1, and they'll run Cobb. Cobb darts for the first down and more. So Devin Cobb picks up for the first down for the Pioneers. And he now has 4 carries, 453 yards.
Cobb just sidestepped one defender to get to the first down, and the Pioneers keep on moving the sticks, now down to the 20-yard line.
So the Pioneers, and an injured man down for Oshkosh. I believe it's number 92 for Oshkosh. And we don't have a 92 listed, and
Mike Felder just had a 2-run homer to tie it.
so we saw a rash of injuries here last week, and thankfully we haven't seen that many this week. And he looks like he's going to get up under his own power. He had a sack for 11. Oh no, that knee doesn't appear to be very good. He's going to try and walk her off.
It's putting a little weight on it, which is a good sign, but it hurts a little bit.
Well, let's hope we see him back in the game. And you look at the size and mass of some of these players out here.
And the speed which they collide, too. You got those big masses colliding. It's just, injuries are bound to happen.
The knees were not made for athletics, especially football. So it'll be 1st and 10, ball in the Oshkosh 21 for the Pioneers. Taylor gives off to Cobb. Cobb, nice move. And he really seems to be doing something a running back needs to do besides running north-south, and that's moving his hips around.
Last week, Cobb didn't have many net yards. This week, he's finally opening and not, just waiting back for the hole. He's making his own holes and picking up some big yardage for the Pioneers.
5 yards for Cobb. That moves it down to the 16. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for the Pioneers. 12:48 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Pioneers looking to add on to their 15-point lead. Taylor, long count, hands off to Shumway. Shumway, a nice run. And he's down inside the 10. And you know you had a good run when you didn't end up on the ground.
Shumway was one defender away from breaking that for the end zone. The last defender grabbed him around the waist and held him up enough for the other defenders to come and knock him out of bounds, but you just said, Rod, not knock him down. Shumway is one of the toughest guys to knock down the whole team.
3rd down and 1 now for the Pioneers. And a field goal here would put you up by 18, but I'm sure we're looking 6 at this point.
Still plenty of time for Bogosh to counterattack. There's always enough time for Bogosh, as we saw last week.
Last week with Baumgartner, exactly, Tom. 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Cobb. Now let's see if his lunge forward gets it for him. And Cobb thinks he has the 1st down. And it is a 1st down. So the Pioneers now will have a 1st down. And it will be goal to go here for the Pioneers. They will need to get in the end zone. 10 yards to go, of course. And get a good look at both lines here. Taylor, long count again, and they're going to run to Cobb. Cobb gets through a hole, but hit quickly. What a good pickup on the play.
Pioneers make up some yardage on 1st down instead of waiting for 4th down to score all their points. Maybe they'll try to work on the first 3 downs.
2nd down, 4 to go. That's goal to go. Pioneers, in case you're joining us a little bit late, scored 2 touchdowns in the 1st half on 4th down. That'll be 2nd and goal from the 4. We just hit the 11-minute mark here to go in the 3rd quarter. Ely, the only wide out for the Pioneers in the wing T. Cobb again. Cobb squirts into the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers. And it's 34-13.
Pioneers starting to put some ground between them and the Titans on the last 3 or 4 carries. Cobb going left on tackle. They must have seen something during the 1st half and going right to the well to the left side and get some good yardage, and Cobb puts it in for this touchdown.
Well, also with running the football, you take more time off the clock, and with the potent Oshkosh offense, it gives them less time to score. Konopacki to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Pioneers increase their lead to 22 at 35-13.
Pioneers at a commanding lead at this point. This is a good showing for the Pioneers next week when they go to Whitewater. They need a big confidence builder like this game is tonight. And Oshkosh is not a bad team.
Not by a long shot. That drive covered 7 plays, 39 yards for the Pioneers, and all 7 plays were run on the ground.
Well, with Shumway and Cobb, they do the job, so it eats up a lot of time.
So it'll be Conopacky to kick off. As we said, a lot of time left in this one. Back deep to the receive for the Titans will be Rob Nita.
Titan defense on the sideline is not a happy bunch as their coach is yelling at them. They have not put a good showing in tonight.
Conopacky, nice kick, taken by Robinson, and quickly taken down at the 33-yard line, so that's where Bogosh will start.
Some more extracurricular activities, Rod, just like last week, but it's not as bad yet, that is.
Let's hope.
Let's hope so.
We don't have to see anything like that again.
Everybody's a fierce competitor, but there's a certain line you take.
And the man who was injured before for Oshkosh was practicing coming off the snap, so hoping to get back in. Pitch out. Matsky strung out nicely by the Pioneer defense as he gets a gain of 2. But the Pioneers, you can see as their defense developed right down the line.
The line held up the blockers, and then Matt Sevens came over and just finished off the tackle and put him down.
So Oshkosh running again, which, as we said, we thought we'd see it in the air a little bit more. Bogosh right away out of the shotgun now on 2nd and 8. And a quick one over the middle, long pass. Gans, number 32, had come up, and an injured man for Oshkosh here. And that is Rob Nita.
Nita got just hammered on the play by linebacker Dave Rundy. He is not getting him. Looks like the wind is knocked out of him, but he is down. What a hit by Rundy.
Well, let's hope that is all. And a 3rd and 8 coming here. And we have 9:56 left to go.
Nita gets up on his own power and walks out. He'll be all right. 3rd down, about 8.
So it'll be 3rd down and 8 now for the Titans. Need a 1st down here. Bogosh will roll to his right, being chased by Vanoy. Rolls it over the middle. Pass interference will be called on Dave Rundy up at the 44-yard line, and Oshkosh will have a 1st down.
Rundy hit him just a little bit before the pass came. He was going for the ball, but he went right through the receiver on that play. Pioneer defense, no, overall not doing too bad tonight.
So Oshkosh gets their 1st down. And Nita comes right back into the game, so that's a good sign.
Can't afford to lose Nita. He's Bogosh's big target, their leading scorer from a year ago.
So it'll be 1st and 10. The ball will be on the Oshkosh 44. The Pioneers up 35-13, an impressive showing on this Thursday night game. Shotgun for Bogosh. Under pressure, gets it away, and it will be incomplete. Rill did not bring that pass in until he had 1 foot out of bounds, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Bogosh, when he released that ball, was just hammered by Chris Kinnos. There was not a second to go before he had to leave that ball.
Bogosh is so tall that he can really see over the on-rushing defenders coming in.
And he's got a cannon to get rid of the ball quick, too.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. Bogosh back to pass. And he's got his man. That's number 83. Greg Benish, his first catch, a junior out of Muskego, only picks up about 3. So it'll be 3rd down and 7, and another big 3rd down play for the Pioneer defense.
Pioneers holding a long 3rd down. They're letting them throw the short underneath passes, not letting Bogosh go long.
So it'll be 3rd down, and let's call it 8. Oshkosh on their own 46. Pioneers in the 4-3. And too much time? That can be about the only thing. And it will be on Oshkosh. Dead ball foul, false start on Oshkosh. And now they've got 3rd and 13. And what is Bogosh going to do here?
He's been going on a shotgun many times in this drive. They might be going to a hurry-up offense if they do get the 1st down on this play, because they are down by a bunch and not much time left.
We still have 24 minutes and 1 second left to play in the 3rd quarter. And play being stopped. And we've seen more stops in play than at any time last week. Now they're going to start the clock. They're down in 13. And Bogosh looking over the middle, tipped away. Pass intended for Nita, and it will be 4th down for Oshkosh. They're going to kick.
Both defensive backs going for the hit. One of them could have gotten the interception, but it'll be a long 4th down, and they'll have to punt the ball away. Pioneers should get good field position out of this.
My statistician tonight, Dennis King, is doing a fine job. Caught Oshkosh trying to run a pick play that time, and Rill and Greeningham ran right into each other. But Bogosh has not been really on. He's missed a lot of guys over the middle. Here's the kick. Over inflation there. Pierre's going to let it hit, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line, where the Pioneers will take over 1st and 10.
If the first drive of the second half is any indication, the Pioneers should be able to run the ball on the Titans and eat up some vital time on the clock. That's what the Pioneers need to do. They don't need any more points, really. They just need to eat some of the clock off, not give Bogosh much time to score.
Bogosh is 1 for 4 this half, 2 yards passing and an interception.
Pioneer defense starting to get to him.
So Taylor cranks up the Pioneer offense. He'll roll left. Got a little room if he wants it, and he will run it. Taylor takes his slide for a 1st down. We're very close, up at about the 33. And Taylor having another great week offensively, and yes. And will it be a 2nd and short? Are we going to have to measure? And the clock is stopped. 1st and 10, Pioneers.
That's all the Pioneers need to do is move the sticks.
And they have yet to throw a pass this half, which keeps the clock moving.
That shows how successful they've been on the ground. Taylor was going back to pass on that one, but there was plenty of room for him to run. He got the 1st down.
So the ball will be placed on the 33-yard line. Peters back into the game. Give inside to Steger. Nice run. And he gets just short of the 40-yard line, so another good pickup on 1st down of 7 yards.
Last week, Oshkosh defense gave up only 40 yards rushing to Superior, but this week something's wrong, and the Pioneers are just going right up the middle and getting big yardage.
Our clock continues to run. We hit the 7:40 mark now. Pioneers really looking to add what is already a 22-point lead. Taylor, they're going to run the football again. Peters, the big back, runs over the safety and will be near a 1st down. Pascavis starting to get into it with someone. I believe he was shouting at number 28, Paul Denard. Senior out of Green Bay, but another 1st down for George Chris, Pioneers.
Titans starting to play against 2 opponents, not only the Pioneers, but the clock as well. Less than 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Tom, do you think you might try and throw long after you run the football the first 10 plays of the second half?
Too successful on the ground. Got to eat up some more clock.
I agree. It'll be first down and 10 on the 44. Just trying to bring in some discussion here. Taylor throws, got a man open. That's Ely. He'll try and cut it back to the outside. He gets around a man and gets to the 40. And it'll be first and 10, Platteville.
I guess that shows, Robert, we're up here and George Christ is on the sideline. Brilliant play calling by that. Another first down deep into Titan territory at the 40.
Completion for 16 yards. Taylor continues his big day. He is now 14 out of 16, and he passes the 200-yard mark in passing. He now has 207 yards with 3 touchdowns.
2 good games in a row for Taylor. If he can keep this up the whole season, the Pioneers should be moderately successful.
We'll have a test next week, no doubt. Inside handoff to Peters. Peters pulls forward for about 3 or 4. And the Pioneers keep the clock moving.
With the Pioneers with Cobb and Shumway in the backfield, they got plenty of horses to ground out the clock.
6.5 left now in the third quarter. Second down and 6, ball on the Oshkosh 6-yard line. And Oshkosh really needs a stop here. Man in the backfield. Taylor back to pass. And he hits Cobb. Cobb, was that a catch or not? And they're going to call it incomplete. That's a good call. He did trap it on the ground.
That's one of the few bad passes that Taylor has thrown today. He was wide open and just threw a little bit short for Cobb in the flat.
Wait, and they're going to still be third down, and are they going to give him a completion on that? Well, they give him a couple of yards. It'll be third down and 7 now for the Pioneers. The Pioneers trying to keep the drive alive here in Oshkosh territory. Fakes to Cobb. Oh, then comes the linebacker. Taylor now, time. Long over the middle to Ely. Touchdown, Pioneers! And a flag is down. This is all coming back, as I believe they nailed Chad Hempel for a push in the back. And another big penalty against Platteville, but a good play nonetheless.
Good play nonetheless, Rod. Without that penalty, Taylor probably would not have gotten the pass off for the touchdown, but it was a good pattern by Ely.
And
Perfect
Ely,
connections.
once again, beating the entire defense downfield. He was wide open, but the Pioneers are now going to have third and very long. And will probably have to punt.
Oh, Pioneers have been doing it on late down situations.
And it's going to be third down and 17. Not as long as I anticipated. I thought they might be way back at their own 40, but as it is, they're on the Oshkosh 47 with a third and 17. 5:50 left to go, third quarter. Taylor's going to throw. Taylor fakes, and he got it away. Well, I thought for sure they would fall him down that time.
I was to say, there's no in the grass rule here in college football, and he was still pretty much on his feet, and he got that off in the direction of 40 Peters, and it brings up a fourth down. Really go for it, Rod.
I don't think so this time, Tom. If you joined us late, the Pioneers have scored twice on fourth down, but I think it's safe to say they'll kick it as Brad Von Barren goes back into punt formation. And Oshkosh can ill afford to get put inside about their own 10 here. Nice kick by Von Barren. He's going to come up and take it at the 15, so a good punt by Brad. And Oshkosh will start inside their 20.
Good fetch by Van Barren. He stuck it. They have a long field ahead of them, 85 yards to cover. But Bogosh reminds me a lot of Denver Broncos' John Elway, so you never know what can happen.
And the Broncos are 2-0 this year. Let's hope Oshkosh isn't 2-0 in conference play when they leave Platteville tonight.
Bogosh isn't that is good as Denver.
I don't think anyone on the planet is as good as Elway. Bogosh. Quick slant pattern, and the receiver just loses the football. And I'm sure he might have heard some footsteps from number 19, Dave Lombardo, who delivered a hit in the
Came
first
in one
half.
of the worst places you can ever throw to a receiver, Ron. That's right in his hands. He was thinking too much about it, and Lombardo coming in thinking how bad he's going to get hit, and just didn't catch the ball.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Oshkosh needs to get something going to get back in the football game, but the Pioneer defense has been equal to the challenge this half. And we're going to see some high scoring too next week, I think, when the Pioneers travel to Whitewater. 1:30 over at Whitewater. Pass this time, it's complete. Fiera misses his man, but Lombardo and Rindfleisch ran him out of bounds. Greeting her with on the catch and a first down for Oshkosh.
Pass almost intercepted for the touchdown, but got it in and first down, out of bounds. Stops the clock with about 5.5 minutes to go in the third. They need to score in a hurry because they have to make up a lot of ground.
And with the way the Pioneers are running the football, they're running a lot of time off the clock, and that cuts down their enemy, the clock, even more. So it'll be 1st and 10. They're going exclusively out of the shotgun, 5 men wide. Bogash gonna roll to his left. Neat, nice pass over Robinson. Rundy couldn't even knock him down. Robinson gets out of bounds up around the 35, and he'll be very close to the first down. And he is just short over there. And it'll be 2nd down and short.
Pioneer defense holding in pretty good today. Bogash starting to connect, so look out. Bogash might be onto something.
And they'll still go out of the shotgun on 2nd and 1. They need 3 touchdowns. Back to pass. Pump fake. Got his man. Oh, the pump fake left it wide open. And a nice reception by Nita. And the ref knocked over on the play there.
Nita is Bogash's favorite target, and he's going to him quite a bit today.
But did you see how the pump fake kind of opened things in the middle and froze the backer?
Pioneer defense starting to go back on its heels now, but there's still a lot of time to go.
18 yards on the completion for number 18, Dennis Bogash. 5 minutes exactly left, 3rd quarter. Hits his man in the flat again. That's Prechter. And the clock continues to run as he stopped. And it will be very close to another first down.
On the drive before, the offensive line was not doing its job. They came over here, sat down, talked as a group, and on this drive, they're protecting Bogash. He has plenty of time to find the open receivers, and you can't guard receivers like Nita all day long, and they'll just work themselves open, and they're marching right down the field for a first down again.
Well, they have to stop the clock. Now, look, keep it running. The Pioneers caught a break because they weren't sure if it was a first down, and the clock just kept running. Shotgun again. Rundy just couldn't bring it down the Shumway way with the one hand, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Linebackers had those big mitts on, but not for catching the ball. It's for hitting people. And Rundy not used to getting the ball. He just couldn't put the claws on it.
Well, they had thrown over the middle how many times, and the Pioneers, Dave Rundy just stepped up in there, followed the eyes of Dennis Bogash, and knocked it down. The whole first half, Bogash threw to 3 men, and now he's thrown to 5 this half. So interpret that as you will.
Pioneers have to call a timeout. They're not sure what to do. Bogash in the shotgun for most of the second half, and with about 4.5 minutes to go, Pioneers hold a commanding 22-point lead.
Okay, and 4:26 to go. The Pioneers with the only touchdown of the half, and then one called back for a block in the back, and the Pioneers do lead though, 35-13.
Pioneers go on the road the next 2 weeks against Whitewater next Saturday in Eau Claire. They're coming home against La Crosse, a must-win situation. You got to win all the home games here. They travel up the falls with the Veer offense, a new coach up there. They're home against Superior afterwards. You never know what Superior's going to do. Then they have their big trip to New York to play Wagner College, a non-conference game, and finish up against UW-Stout here on November 11th. And Stout is one tough team with Tim Peterson, their senior quarterback, who's ranked in the top 10 in passing offense in the NAIA.
Well, Bogosh had a slow start, but now he's perked up. He's 5 out of 10 with 1 interception in this half for 50 yards. So Oshkosh starting to move the football. Back, quick hitter again. Overthrows his man, and it's Sevens. Seen where the ball was, it would have been 41 to 13 because there was no one in front of him.
Sevens had his eyes on number 88. Pete Greeninter all day, all the time. If you look at the ball, as Roddy just said, it had 6 points.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10 now for Oshkosh, and another 3rd down play for the Titans. They've converted 2 on this drive.
Bogosh again in the shotgun, going mostly exclusively out in the second half.
And he'll go back to pass. Got his man, and we'll see where the forward progress. That will be a 1st down. The completion to Craig Semler, a senior out of Hartford, Wisconsin.
Oshkosh starting to move the ball. Bogosh had 2 receivers in that area, and one of them grabbed it and got the 1st down. They're inside the 30. The Pioneers still lead by 22 points, right? There's still a long way for them to go.
And Bogosh out of the shotgun again on 1st down. He's got 5 men acting as receivers in the game. Flag on the play. Over to Robinson. Knocked down there by Lehner. And let's see what this flag is all about. And it's illegal motion on Oshkosh. And I'm sure the Pioneers will knock them back to 5 yards and make it 1st and 15.
The more room you put between Bogosh and the end zone, the better. At this point in the game, with a lot of room for them to make up.
Pioneers once again scored 28 points in the 1st half. Oshkosh 13. At one point the game was 7-6. Oshkosh had a chance to tie, but fumbled the snap from center. Pioneers quickly made it 21-6 after that, and it was 21-13. And the Pioneers have scored 2 unanswered touchdowns to put some breathing room between them and the Titans. 1st and 15. They're going to pass probably the whole game here. And the ball thrown to number 89, Larry Proctor, junior out of Chicago. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Big tight end catches that one over the middle. No one is going to stop him when he wants the ball. He goes out of bounds. They have plenty of time for this one, but still a long way to go.
It'll be 2nd down and about 1 for the Titans. But the Pioneers have made them take a lot of time on this drive.
Eating the clock. That's what the Pioneers want to do.
Second down and a yard to go. And as we said, it'll probably be up on every play here. Rolling left. Got his man. That's Proctor again, the tight end. And he's hit and knocked down inside the 10-yard line. So it'll be another 1st down.
When in doubt, Bogosh throws to his big fellow over the middle. And the tight end just picks up big yardage on either side of the Pioneers defense.
So it'll be 1st down and goal to go. Ball at the 5-yard line. And now they'll finally set a man in the backfield. Kuyava, he scored their last touchdown. He butts in, touchdown Titans. So Oshkosh, as you see, Kuyava scores, and they most certainly will go for the 2 points here.
They need more points than you can shake a stick at. They need to get points on the board. 1 point at this point of the game will not do them any good at all.
So you're still looking at, even if you miss the 2 points, you still can score twice and hit 2 two-pointers, and that would tie the game up then.
Those are awfully big ifs, though.
Ifs. Well, let's hope the Pioneers just shut them down and we won't have to worry about that. Bogosh rolling right, throws, it's good, and a flag on the play. Wait a minute, if this is a 5-yarder, we move back and they'll have to do it for the 8, and it is on Oshkosh. So Oshkosh is going to have to do this all over again. Is it change your thinking, or do you still go for the 2? I would think you go for the 2.
You need a couple more points you can get as possible. You need them.
Oh, they're
At this
gonna
point in the game, the extra kick won't put any chips into the game.
And it'll be a legal man downfield. An eligible receiver. And it will be another shot here at it. 3:07 left. And here we go again. Big hold here. The Pioneers can stop. They've got to get into the end zone for the 2 points. If they don't get in one play, they get nothing. Oh gosh, throws over the middle. Oh, and almost a great reception by Nina, and the Pioneers now look like they're in a position no worse than that naughty 3-letter word we learned last week, tie.
Nothing like having 2 ties in a row as you see the Pioneers up by 16. Those are awfully big ups. They need 2 touchdowns. They need both of the 2 extra points. And they couldn't get this one in. There's no saying what will happen in the next game. And hopefully Taylor and Shumway and Cobb could run out some of this clock and put a lot of distance between Bogosh and the tie.
Well, now you can start a field goal. Even really helps your cause now too.
Yeah, it'll make them have to get the ball 3 times instead of just twice.
And you're starting to play this game of possessions with the clock now. And that's why the running game becomes so important here for the Platteville Pioneers. To kick for Oshkosh is number 29, Mike Fossum. Deep to receive is Cobb. Coming up the kick short. And the Pioneers let it hit. And reversing his field. Trying to hit the seam in the middle, and out to the 37 goes number 22, Larry Schraper, 5'7", 170, a junior out of Hollandale.
Pioneers, good field position to run off the clock, almost at their own 40. Shumway can eat up the clock at this point in the game.
So we now have 3:01 left to go in the third quarter. Bogosh is 8 of 15, 1 interception this half for 86 yards. So he's starting to crank it up. Taylor, Cobb, inside handoff to Shumway, and he's met by all-conference linebacker John Moe. And they finally stopped that play after about 1 yard.
4th time George Christ has called that play for the Pioneers. Titans smelled that one out and stuffed it at the line of scrimmage. Gain of about 1 yard, I'd say.
So if the linebacker stays at home on that play, it generally doesn't really go anywhere. You see our score, 35-19 on a nice night for football at Ralph E. Davis Pioneer Stadium. 2nd down, and we'll call it 10. Taylor, oh, Ely dropped it at the 50. Taylor threaded the needle on that pass, and there's nothing else you can do, and the Pioneers need to get the first down here, or else we give the ball right back to Bogosh.
43 Lonnie Heller just put a hand up in Ely's face at the last minute and distracted him from getting the ball and hit him right in the chest. Another bad place to get the ball.
So it'll be 3rd down. The Pioneers need to get up to the 47-yard line for the first down. George Christ hoping they don't have to give the ball back to Bogosh this early, at least without some more points on the board.
Pioneers are not eating much time off the clock for all 50 seconds. They need to get a first down here.
Back to pass. Oh, he overthrew Cobb. Moe, interception. There's a flag on the play. And Moe is finally run out of bounds. But hold everything. There's a flag at the 34. And I believe it's going to be holding against the Pioneers because that's the direction it was thrown in. And Oshkosh is all of a sudden right back in the football game. And it will be on Platteville. And you see a happy Oshkosh bunch run off the field.
Platteville converted on Bogosh's interception at the beginning of the second half. Now Taylor's interception, ill-advised pass over the middle. And now deep knocking on Platteville's door.
Well, he just overthrew Cobb, and Moe came up.
A fired up Titan bunch rod.
And they're on the 14-yard line of Platteville. The defense needs to make a stand here. 1st and 10. He fumbled the snap. Oshkosh falls right back on it. And a break for the Pioneers as the Titans waste a down.
Each down that the Titans lose is another one for the Pioneers. Puts them a little bit further away from the end zone, which is what they want.
Loss of about 1 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 11 at the 15 now. And the 2 running backs who have carried the load for Oshkosh come out of the game. So an obvious throwing down then for Oshkosh. And he throws, and he has an intercepted by McGinn. He gets around to the outside. McGinn is still going. He's all the way up to the 35, and the Pioneers dodge a bullet with a big play from Barry McGinn.
Taylor threw a bad pass now, but goes through one into traffic, return it all the way back to the 40. Pioneers couldn't have asked for anything better.
Boy, threw right in the middle of zone coverage and right into his arms. And we have a flag on the play. So this will probably be something on the Pioneers on the return. I'm sure the interception will stand. And yes, it's on the Pioneers for clipping. And the Pioneers will have to start out now at their own. We'll call it the 11-yard line.
But the key to this was the Pioneers have the ball. Bulldogs can't score if the Pioneers have the ball.
So the Pioneer offense right back onto the field. We'll call it the 13, 1st and 10. Look for the Pioneers to put it on the ground. And that's what they do. Devin Cobb squirts free. Got a big block from Largent and scoots up for a 1st down.
That's what the Pioneers need to do at this stage of the game. Get a 1st down, move the sticks. And now they're out of their own end zone.
11 yards on the pickup for Cobb, and Scott Largent was out on that play. He got the big block that sprung Cobb free. 1:13 left to go, 3rd quarter. Pioneers up 35 to 19. Inside handoff to Steger. He gets away. He's all the way up to the 45-yard line of Platteville.
I can't believe the Pioneers have this much running room. As last week, Superior only gained 40, and they're one of the lower teams in the conference. Pioneers just sticking it right to Oshkosh. 1st down again.
1 yards on the pickup for Tom Steger, who had a touchdown earlier in the game. The man coming off for Oshkosh is Todd Meyer, defensive back. He's 5'10", a junior out of Campbellsport.
And the clock continues to run, less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
Pioneers have it 1st and 10 on their own 45. Taylor going to pass. Taylor stepping up, and a nice catch there by Mike Wild. Another 1st down. 15 yards on the play. And another 1st down. So the ball on the Oshkosh 39-yard line now. Clock running, 40 seconds left in the 3rd. Tight end is Dan Rundy for the Pioneers. Hand off inside to Steger. Another big run. If he can break it, he's gone. He gets inside to the 20. And another 1st down for the Pioneers.
He keeps on going. He made it to the last line of defense. They saved from the touchdown. Pioneers again, right, moving those chains. That's all they need to do at this point.
42 yards rushing for Steger on this drive. So the freshman, who probably didn't expect to see much playing time 3 weeks ago before the season began, pressed into action with 2 injuries, doing a heck of a job. And the Pioneers can they let the clock run out? I didn't keep track of where it started.
Pretty good 3rd-string quarterback, A-Rod.
Bring that kind of depth off the bench, you can go places. Pioneers will let the clock run out. So 7-0 was the score in the 3rd quarter in favor of the Pioneers. 7-6, I should say. Pioneers now lead 35-19 at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Pioneers, all they need to do now is get another touchdown. The game could be over, but Bogarts is one heck of a quarterback, and I'll never count him out.
Well, if the Pioneers do score, it's a big if yet because we're just inside the 20. 42-19 score, that would be 3 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, and a 1-point conversion.
A lot of points there. Not much time to go. Only 15 minutes. George Chris with some magnificent play calling today, doing the plays they needed to be done. The double handoff going inside. Oshkosh does not know what's going on.
15 carries that quarter for Platteville, 119 yards rushing. And those are the kind of stats that win football games. Shumway on the sweep tries to get outside. He's met finally. And this is the first play of the drive. The Pioneers didn't pick up a first down on first down. Trying to give Shumway 3 on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. We'll give him 4.
Thought he got knocked out of bounds there, but they say he's in bounds and keeps that important clock going.
Taylor, after a hot first half, was just 3 of 6 with 33 yards in that quarter. But still over 200 yards today. 2nd and 6. Johnson moves to the right side now, showing a different look on offense. Inside, handoff to Steger! Touchdown, Pioneers! Oh, what a drive for Steger!
That could be the last nail in the coffin for the Titans. Only 14 minutes to go, and a lot of points need to be made up.
Steger rushed for 56 yards on that drive, and what a pleasant surprise he has been, the freshman from Darlington.
Great first collegiate start. You couldn't have asked for anything more. A big clutch third-string quarterback comes off, fullback that is, comes off the bench for some clutch yards.
It is 3 scores. Kick is good. And I believe it was tipped, possibly at the line. And without the tee this year, another possibility. We've seen some kicks snub, but there you see the score. 42-19 Platteville, 14:07 left to go. It's the defense's game.
Pioneers can just stay back and let Bogart throw the balls underneath and have him run the clock.
Pioneers.
I think I know why the Pioneers are so successful. They got the black shoes, just like the Notre Dame Irish. The black shoes are doing it for the Pioneers.
Oh, could that be? I remember Lombardo was about the only guy who wore them last year. Another guy in the secondary. I'm not going to say because I can't remember for sure who it was. I'm sure they'll let me know about it this week before the next game that we do. The Pioneers now up by 23 points.
Playing a near-perfect game against a pretty good Oshkosh ball club. They're not that bad a team.
And here's where the extra points hurt, because if Oshkosh had just made their 3 kicks, they'd be 21 down instead of 23, and that's going to be a lot harder to convert. Konopacki to kick off, and the fans are standing on the other side. Sano, nice kickoff, taken by Robinson at the 5. Breaking, got away from a man, cutting to the outside, and finally dragged down by Dave Chavez, a special teams player. Up at about the 34, Oshkosh will take over at 1st and 10.
Robinson, much like the Pioneers' Devin Cobb, scat back there, get some big yards, quick and fast.
So the Pioneer defense, and let's see how many defensive backs they bring into the game here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive backs. So the Pioneers will go with a nickel here against the shotgun. Bogart rolling, hits his tight end. Hector up, trying to get upfield for some more, and he's nailed by Rundy at the 48. And well, these Oshkosh players do a lot of talking.
Coach is trying to corral them back there, but you only can corral so much.
That'll be a 1st down. On the reception was Larry Proctor.
Proctor with a lot of good catches there. He's a heck of a tight end from Chicago, Illinois.
A lot of good things come from Illinois, as we all know, right, Tom?
I hear you.
1st and 10, ball on their own 48 for the Titans. There's Proctor again, cuts back inside. Rundy misses him, but coming from behind. Big number 76, Pete Cavout. 6'1½", 245, a sophomore out of West of here. And that keeps the clock moving.
Those completions over the middle, it's hard to get out of bounds and keeps the clock going.
And and Oshkosh taking a little more time than I'm sure they'd like getting some of these plays in here.
Proctor reminds me a lot of the Packers' Ed West, a big fella, can catch the ball, he's a good blocker at the tight end position.
West really had a game against New Orleans. Ooh, snap almost got away. Benoit putting some pressure. Oh, what a grab by Nita inside the 30. And it'll be first down Oshkosh. And they really need to get into a hurry-up offense if you've got to get 3 scores in 13 minutes.
They have yet to do that, though they are going from the shotgun. They're still bringing the plays in from the sidelines with the wide receivers, I believe.
Now, granted, your quarterback is a sophomore, but he had a full year of experience last year. I would believe you've got to put some faith in him to call some plays.
Coach must know what he's doing, so.
Throw knocked away. And it was intended for Pete Greeninger. 7's on the defense. And 2nd and 10 now for Oshkosh.
Big deficit for them to come back. The incomplete pass does stop the clock, but it also stops the drive a little bit. Gives them time to get the play in, get them all set, maybe call a couple plays, and hopefully the Pioneers can read those plays and stop.
Well, Proctor has had 5 catches for 57 yards this half, so they've gone to the tight end a lot more. The Pioneers will give him the short pass with that 23-point lead. Oh, they try a shovel pass. It works. They dump it off to number 10, Craig Semler. And they get down. Don't gain much on that play, and the clock continues to move to the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5. 4-down territory the rest of the game, I assume, for Oshkosh.
Definitely for them. Bogosh, he's in the shotgun, but he doesn't really stay in the pocket too much. He always rolls out to either one side or the other.
12:15 left to go. Blitz. Nice catch. And short of the first down. And they throw it at Proctor again.
Big fella down the stretch, trying to get back in the game with him.
It'll be 4th down, and a long one, and they've got to call timeout. And this is kind of do or die right now, because if the Pioneers run the football the way they did last possession, that would just about do it if they don't make it here.
This is the game for the Oshkosh Titans. If they don't get it here, they might not get the ball back 2 or 3 more times. The Pioneers with Shumway, with Cobb, with Steger's been showing he's been doing pretty good. They can run out the clock.
Now we get a look in the Oshkosh huddle there. They're coached by Ron Cardo, who is in his 6th year as Oshkosh head coach. And the Pioneers haven't beaten these guys in a while either.
No. Cardo hasn't been that successful, though. He's only 12-27-1. But then again, Oshkosh last won the WSCC. You may remember this back in 1976 when they tied with Platteville as well as River Falls. So it's been a long drought for the Oshkosh Titans.
Well, Oshkosh pretty much known around the Division III as a baseball powerhouse. Such people as Terry Jorgensen, who just made his debut in the 3, and one other player who's played some second base the past few years for the Milwaukee Brewers, Jim Gander. So quite a history there for that baseball program. 4th down, they're going to call it 2 now. Big play. It's the game here for Oshkosh. They'll run it. And Yaba got the first down, it appears. Check that with Matsky on the carry. And first down, Oshkosh.
Keeps their faint hopes alive on this drive. They need to punch it in quickly and get the ball back.
11:48 left to go now in the ball game. And Bader going to check in. They're going to go with an extra defensive back. He comes in for Rosenberger. Oh gosh, left. It's the man again, short, and they're giving him the tight end this whole half. Proctor once again on the catch.
He's the money man. Big fella in the flat going out of bounds to stop the clock with 11.5 minutes to go. They need to stick it in a hurry.
So they get down to the 16, 3 yards on the pickup, but it's out of bounds. 2nd and 7. Oh gosh, it's 14 of 23 this half. 31 yards unofficially. And they go to Robinson. Oh, he leaps over a man to get inside the 10. And is this a first down? And it'll be 3rd down and 2. And the Pioneers, they can hold. See the fans.
Clock continues to run. This is helping the Pioneers. The Titans are just messing around, trying to get the ball in. The Pioneers are just stopping.
Good win, hopefully, to go into the Whitewater here tomorrow.
Well, Bogots ain't over till it's over.
There, under some pressure, throws it up and over the outstretched arms of Greg Benish. That will bring up a 4th and 2 again. They've got to go on 4th.
Another big 4th down. A field goal will not help them in this point. They need to get 1 yard. They should get it. Any good team should be able to get 1 yard when they need it.
So the ball is on about the 10-yard line. Need to get about 2 yards to get the first down. Back, he's got his man. First down, Titans. So they convert on their second 4th down in a row. And having to take some time in getting the score, the Pioneers have said, here, have the 5-yard pass.
Pioneers bending but not breaking so far.
So we have 10:39 and up to go. It'll be first down and goal on the 6-yard line. Oshkosh looking for their 4th touchdown. The handoff is inside, I believe, to Kuyava. And he gets down inside the 5. And it'll be 2nd down. And we'll call it the 3-yard line. And the clock runs, 10-10 now. 2 backs in the backfield, masking Kuyava. Give is to Kuyava up the middle. I mean, they really haven't done anything different once they get into the fight. Why don't you fake in and then throw out?
They must think their offensive line can open some holes for the running, and they continue to go back in the huddles, wasting precious seconds.
Well, the key is running up the middle of the field. They have now taken about as much time on these 2 goal line plays as it has taken them the whole rest of the drive to get down to the field.
Let's go, fellas.
So it'll be 3rd and goal at the 3. Same setup. Now they roll out. Under pressure. Bogash, will he run? He throws. Going into a mass, and it's incomplete. Granted, you didn't get in, but you stopped the clock.
Stop the clock. There was two thoughtful defenders back there with just one Oshkosh receiver. I believe that was Nada. And the chances are he wouldn't get that one. So 4th down and 3. Another B play of the game for Titans.
Well, they've converted on 2 straight 4th downs. And I can't remember a game I've seen before where each team would have scored a touchdown on 4th down. And more than just 4th and goal at about the 1-foot line.
4th and a lot.
This is 4th and 3 now.
Biggest play of the game so far for the Titans. If they don't score here, they can give up all hope.
Pioneer crowd is standing, urging their defenders on. Bogas looks like the same play. Knocked down by 7. And had he have caught it, he wouldn't have been in the end zone anyway.
No, he would have come off short. And that just might be the ball game unless something miraculous happens like last week. We got 9:17 left. Pioneers up by a whole bunch. That could be the ball game.
Well, the Pioneers will take over on downs on their own 3-yard line. And the 3rd time was finally a charm for the Pioneer defense. And I don't believe we'll see that ball leaving Brad Taylor's hands to make a pass on this drive. Pioneers 1st and 10 on their own 3. And the give is inside. Trying to run some clock here. Steger on the carry. He picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Just give Von Barron some room here. Better yet, let's see if Shumway or Cobb could really cap this night off with about a nice 90-yard run here.
Pioneers could still get 50 points, Rod, which would be a milestone. I don't think they'll go for 2 if they do stick it.
I don't think so either. Taylor is off to Shumway. Shumway picking into the flare, and he picks up a first down. And that really breaks the Titans back here.
They could have stopped him, get a turnover inside the 10, but they let him out, and the Pioneers, I'll be the first one to say it, the Pioneers have won their first conference game.
Well, let's hope so. Devin Cobb got up a little slowly. Shumway, 14 yards on that carry. And if you look at Oshkosh's team, the one place that they can really improve, it looks like, is on defense.
Last week they gave up 503 yards passing to Superior. This week Taylor's been throwing at will.
And running at will
And
now,
running at
especially
will.
on that last drive.
Maybe they should take Will out and put his replacement in.
Taylor, hands off, inside, Steger! He's at the 50, the 45, he's got one man to beat! And he's finally dragged down inside the 20! And oh, is the freshman having himself a game!
Quite a run by the young freshman. His first collegiate start, runs nearly 60 yards, puts the Pioneers in scoring position, and that, again, is the ball game.
64 yards on that carry. And could Tom Steger be the offensive player of the week all of a sudden?
Or Dave Shumway with a touchdown.
Pioneers really looking to pour it on now to Oshkosh. And you see the dejected bench of Titans. And it's going to be a long ride home on this dark night. Cobb squirts free, but finally brung down. I thought he was gone for a second. He was dragged down by number 61, Brian Weber.
Cobb is that kind of runner. He could break it loose on any play, and it looks like he might. But they'll settle for the 5 yards and 2nd and 5.
So they're on the Oshkosh 12-yard line. Oh, the Steger for a third stringer who probably didn't expect to see a lot of playing time this year. And the game he's had went a diamond in the rough for the Pioneers. Taylor inside to Steger. And another nice gain for Tom. And Steger, I believe, got the first down, or he's going to be close.
Titan defense
They're
now
down.
demoralized. They've given up a little bit of hope, back on their heels. Steger's running right in the holes. The offensive line is opening huge hole that you and I even could run through. They don't have to be big, let me tell you.
Well, if people saw me play intramural basketball last year, they know I am not the quickest person in the world. Many people will attest to that. They're down and 1. Paul on the Oshkosh 7. Hand off to Cobb. Squirts through for a first down.
Cobb just avoiding a couple would-be tacklers and gets it inside the 5-yard line.
Unofficially, we have Tom Steger for 145 yards rushing as we take a look at Devin Cobb. Picks up another Pioneer first down. Six, 14 and ticking for the Pioneers' first victory of the season. First and goal on the 5. Taylor hands off to Cobb. Cobb! Going to be stopped short of the goal line. And we're under 6 minutes now. And Tom, now I think it's pretty bold, even I'll say it. The Pioneers are going to be 1-0-1. And it will raise their unbeaten string to 5 in a row.
Very big game for the Pioneers. They played magnificently today, going into the big game next week at Whitewater. Hopefully Travis Talton will have to rest his leg next week, and the Pioneers can better get a better rest his
The
leg.
Pioneers have a couple extra days to prepare for this game now, and a couple more days for some people to heal, like Chris Miller and people like that. Taylor, naked bootleg. They stayed at home. He's trying. Taylor, big leg and a face mask. Touchdown, Pioneers. The play will stand, and it's to 19.
Turn off the light. The party's over.
Well,
That's
Don
the ball
Meredith
game.
reincarnated
That's
on the
the ball
airwaves in Platteville here. And with 5:18 left, Brad Taylor scoots into the end zone. He beat two very big guys to the goal line, and we now are at 48 to 19.
Oshkosh even tried to grab his face mask to keep him out of the end zone, but Taylor would not be denied. And the Pioneers will go for 49, not 50, as I thought.
Kevin Konopacki giving his leg a workout this week. Good snap, kick is up, kick is good. Pioneers 49, Oshkosh 19, and 7 touchdowns in one game means the offense is moving that ball.
A lot of points on this tonight. Oshkosh, they came in this game flying high after beating Superior last week. They got their heads handed to them tonight with the Pioneers. What a game. Offense, defense, and special teams. Pioneers have played a magnificent ball game.
All right, the crowd likes it, especially those students coming out on Student Appreciation Night. And the Pioneers, I'm an old-fashioned football man, and I believe that you win football games by running it right down the teeth of the other team. The Pioneers have done that in the second half with 245 unofficial yards rushing.
Pioneers just running at will and passing. They're just doing it all tonight. What more can be said?
And the Pioneer fans, I think, will taste victory at home for the first time since the Eau Claire game last year. And I'm on a little 3-game unbeaten string of my own. I used to bring bad luck to the Pioneers, but now I'm good luck, I hope.
Thanks a lot, Rod. The Pioneer football team will like those good news.
All right, so the Pioneers going to move to 1-0-1 on the season. And the other undefeated teams coming into this weekend were La Crosse and River Falls. Eau Claire hadn't played yet. So the Pioneers are looking at no worse than a 3rd place in the conference. Nita with the ball, and he tries to bust around the outside. Gons finally runs him out. And unofficially, we have the Pioneers for 384 yards rushing on the game.
What more can be said, Rod? They just play a perfect running offense, perfect passing offense, except for the 1 interception. Defense has played just good enough to keep Taylor in the ball game. They won. Special teams, those extra points for both teams not come in effect of this game, which is good. The Pioneers just dominated every facet of the ball game.
They also have the Pioneers for 608 total yards unofficially. So, I mean, this is unreal. Oshkosh, and a fumble! Bogash puts it down, and he just falls on it. And we're down to about 5 minutes here. And let's take a look a little bit more at that weekend schedule, Tom. You have River Falls playing Eau Claire. One team loses there. The Pioneers will be ahead of them because that team will have a loss. La Crosse going to Superior. You got to think La Crosse is going to win. Pioneers are sitting, at no worse than 3rd place after this weekend now.
Big game, River Falls with their new coach. They could start out 2-0, which would be good.
Well, La Crosse gets their first road test. This year they go up to Superior.
Anything can happen, as I said before, up there. You never know what could happen. The basketball team a couple years ago lost. Football team's played some tough games up there. Stout goes to Whitewater. Stout's got a great quarterback in Tim Peterson, the senior. Whitewater's got the big running back, Travis Talton. It could be a very good afternoon for a football fan to go down to Whitewater and see that game.
Oshkosh, as you saw their dejected bench, will fall to 1-1 in the conference and 2-1 overall. Bogash throws. Boy, overthrew Nita, and it'll now be 4th down and 8 yards to go, and they have conceded this game to the Pioneers. They are going to punt.
I don't see why they really need to punt. Get more passing yards for Bogash. What more can be done tonight? Nita's had a pretty good ball game, catching some good passes, but we can't feel good about the team's performance.
You're not going to give up 49 points, 608 yards from your defense, and win many football games.
No, you're not, Rod. They gave up over 500 yards of total offense to Superior, and luckily they won that game. Tonight they tried to do it again, and the law of averages caught up with them.
So a huge game now next weekend. We kept talking about it for the Pioneers. They take on Whitewater. I would think Whitewater would beat Stout at home. They would move to 1-1. And that would all of a sudden starts to become looking like a make or break game for a big move up the conference standings.
If that happens, the loser of the Platteville-Whitewater game could fall out of the conference race with 2 losses, or
a loss and a tie.
You have to jump over a lot of ball clubs.
And then you start needing help, and you like to keep things within your own destiny.
Yeah, it's hard to get help in the WSUC.
Vieira, boy, nice kick. Nick will try and run it back. And he slips and falls inside the 20. And, well, as long as we have the score that we have, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up in 2 weekends here at the university, and that is homecoming. The Pioneers will be taking on lacrosse in what shapes up to be a huge football game. If we look down the road, the way the Pioneers are playing, and you think they can beat Eau Claire, possibly, and we cross our fingers on that.
You go on the road, anything can happen.
Now, the last time the Pioneers played Eau Claire was highly ranked, and the Pioneers went in there and pulled off a big upset.
The WSUC overall is one of the best conferences, best small college conferences in America. Practically every one of its schools, except Superior and us, were ranked in the top 30 teams in the nation, so it's got to be tough.
Well, lacrosse jumped up to second after that victory over Whitewater, and you know, there's really not much more that can be said about the conference race. We will have the good old homecoming parade on Saturday morning. Let's hope we have nice weather this year for all our homecoming festivities. And Eric Wixom in at quarterback now for the Pioneers as the Pioneers begin to run the clock out.
Good substitution by Coach George Chris. There's no need to get Taylor or Shumway or Cobb hurt at this late stage of the game.
Any of the offensive linemen either, for that matter. But we still see Tim Murphy in the game, number 53 at center. And busting into the game, you saw, is number 12, Ron Hayes, 5'11", a sophomore from Ocano. They're down and 10, clock continuing to run.
Time for some of the bench warmers to get those grass stains on their pants.
Uh-oh, Wixom slips, falls, he's got a man wide open, that's Hayes who came into the game. And they make it up to the 35. First down, Platteville. And from the place the Pioneers are out at the field, if they scored another touchdown, they would be nearing 700 yards.
I think George Chris will be satisfied with just running out the clock. Don't want to get Oshkosh too riled up. We have to play them again next year. And just quietly sneak out of the building.
Joe Obernader in, number 11, a spunky quarterback out of Milwaukee. And they'll run an option. And it's exciting to see. Obernader, it's a good gain on first of about 6 yards. Clock runs, we're under 2 now. And the first victory feels good.
It sure does. Any victory feels good, but especially the first one at home. You got to win the games at home. And we got to rest up. Next week's another big game.
And this team should see a big confidence build up going into that Whitewater game. Wixom back into quarter now. Second down and 6 for the Pioneers. And the handoff. Nice gain by number 34, Tim Grunke. Normally a special teams player, a freshman from Random Lake. Pick up a 5, it'll be 3rd and 1.
This game is just the medicine that the Platteville team needed to cure its ills. Last week's game left a bad taste in their mouth. They felt they could have and should have won the ball game. This year they came, they did everything right, and they're on their way to victory.
Well, the tie, you know, granted, you can look pessimistically and say, hey, we didn't win, but if you look optimistically, we didn't lose. Wixom! Oh, he had a blocker if he could have made it. Lavelle, and this is the kind of stuff we don't need to see. And another 15 is going to get tacked on here.
Obermeyer, the little spunky fella, rolled out and threw that one from 3. What a pass by the newcomer.
Personal foul on Oshkosh. Well, hey, they played longer this week than they did last week. As their game last week was called with about a minute and a half due to Well, let's say an old melee as we see in baseball season when the annual beanball wars
Fisticuffs.
come up.
I think Oshkosh just giving up. They're sitting on the bench, not caring.
It's going to be a long ride home. And Peters spins away. Ooh, he got popped.
Don't think many of the Titans will feel like going to classes tomorrow.
No, I don't think so.
Make a long weekend for those things.
Well, they've got time to regroup. As we look ahead, now Oshkosh's next game, they'll be taking on Eau Claire. So that's another big game for them, too. Now, if Eau Claire loses their first game, these early season matchups do a lot of jockeying for positioning, and we find out a lot.
Every game in WSCC is big for both teams.
Overnader going to run the football. And he gets inside the 30. And we're down to 1 second, and that's it. The Pioneers have won by the score of 49-14. The Pioneers now move to 1-0-1 on the overall and conference season. Tom, last thoughts?
The students here at the UW-Platteville Student Appreciation Night, they back their ball club, and they go home happy with a victory. That's what they came to see, is good, exciting football, and that's what they got.
So a big 30-point win for the Pioneers tonight. They blow away Oshkosh, and it's really a big win. Let's look forward once again and remind everyone that the next Pioneer football game, it's only a 2-hour drive, folks, over to the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater to see the Pioneers play. That game will begin at 1:30.